doing?
And just over the weekend, we saw OPEC also say that for June now, they're going to ratchet up output by another 400,000 barrels a day.
DeHaan adding that it's a matter of supply and demand. The more gas available, the less that it costs. Check of the roads. Good morning, Matt Baer.
All right, so I'm looking at northbound 465 on the northeast side. Crash at East 71st Street has us backed up to I-70. You had a delay time of over an hour. It's incredible. Northbound 465 again jammed from 70 up to 75th. And then we have a crash still on the east side. Northbound 465 after Washington Street. And that's now on the right shoulder, slowing us to Washington Street. Eastbound 465 slows from Allisonville Road down to 75th because of that crash cleanup. And a crash on the east side, Arlington Avenue, Village Plaza South Drive. Crash eastbound 74B for Dandy Trail on the right shoulder, slowing traffic to Raceway Road. And a crash on the west side, 46th Street, High School Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly to mostly cloudy conditions throughout the afternoon. It's going to be a warmer Wednesday with highs into the mid and upper 70s. Tonight, clouds with lows near 57. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Cheryl Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
No trust.
Why would I trust anybody anymore? You have to double check everybody all the time. You see a story, a headline, and you're like, really? Let me dig into it a little bit more.
After all these years, have I ever missed a segment? Have I ever missed a segment?
No, you admit it. You were running in here when the intro was playing.
But I was here.
That's true.
Have I ever not been sitting in this chair?
No, you always have made it just in the nick of time.
That's
but
right.
Going back to your question, no trust? No. Do you trust anyone anymore?
Well, I would think after 3.5 years of working with me every single day, you would know that if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere. I mean, true story. I was trying to come down here. Jake Query was down the hall and goes, hey, I got something I got to tell you. I said, I don't have time right now. I got to make it to the Kendall and Casey show.
What if it was really important?
Well, I wouldn't miss the show. Look, this mine, Casey, is a complete steel trap. I don't know how many times I have to look.
It's a file cabinet, I know.
It is both a blessing and a curse, and I am now seeing my toddler daughter. It is playing out in real time with her. There are things that I care about, and I will never screw those things up. If I'm interested in it, if it's important to me, you take it to the bank. I will be where I tell you I'm going to be, when I tell you I'm going to be there, and wouldn't miss it for the world. If I don't care about it, you're screwed.
Right. So this show is one of those things that you care about.
Yes, I care. Thus, I was here. I walked in literally as the intro was. I know to the second when I need to be here. It's the OCD.
Yeah.
I know to the second when that intro is going to fire.
Well, honestly, you had a guest in here this morning. I wasn't sure if you were downstairs talking with them in the lobby. I wasn't sure if you were in the bathroom having an issue.
Nope.
I didn't know what was going on because you were not in here in your seat, and I
After
could tell
all these years,
you're
you
a
still
little
don't trust me.
out of breath from running down the hall.
But I'm here. I was here.
And you asked though, don't I trust you? I trust you, but trusting other people, that's questionable, especially when you consider the tweet that our governor put out yesterday. You really have to question everything. He said, this morning, I signed a balanced, responsible biennial budget that protects Indiana's strong fiscal foundation while investing in our future.
Wait.
First of all,
time out. Can you read that again slowly now? as I catch my breath slowly so I can process that.
Okay. Our governor, Mike Braun,
Yes.
tweeted out yesterday. He said, this morning, I signed a balanced, responsible biennial budget that protects Indiana's strong fiscal foundation while investing in our future.
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
This drives me insane when these politicians say they balanced their budget.
They have to. It's in the Constitution.
Both the state and local governments are obligated. They cannot print money. They are obligated to balance their budget. Anytime one of these state or local people tells you they've presented, the mayors do this all the time. I have presented to the council an honestly balanced budget. You have to do that. So don't ever Braun or these mayors or any of them who tell you they've presented a balanced budget. They are obligated to present a balanced budget. Carry on. I just had to make that point.
He goes on further. It's Kendall and Casey, by the way. He goes on further to say this budget will preserve our reserves, maintain our AAA credit rating, and deliver on key priorities. Here are the key priorities.
Yes.
Education, public safety, and tax relief for Hoosiers.
Okay, pause. Does he not know that he raised taxes by almost $1 billion to balance the budget that he was obligated to balance? You have to genuinely wonder at this point. So remember the psychosis of tyranny. We are right back to the psychosis of tyranny that the renowned doctor, Dr. Dan Stock, laid out on this show. And that is where a politician, of which we believe the governor suffers from this, is capable. You can give him all the information in the world. If 90% doesn't fit his narrative, the politician is capable of clinging on to the 10% that fits whatever policy or preconceived notion they have, and they will ignore the 90% and totally sell you on the 10%. And so you have to wonder at this point if the governor, who we have a theory could, based on his frail, feeble appearance at that Politburo speech he gave last week, may indeed be a victim of elder abuse and may not have all of his faculties at this point, is suffering from this psychosis of tyranny in which he talks about what was the word he used? Tax relief? Tax
relief for Hoosiers.
Where he raised taxes by almost $1 billion in order to balance the budget that he is obligated to do. You have to wonder at this point, has the elder abuse taken such form that the governor's brain is so fried? Because he wouldn't just lie, would he, Casey?
Oh, possibly.
I mean, these two things cannot be true, that he is saying something blatantly false. It is blatantly untrue, which means he is either lying directly to you or he has been so worn down and his brain is so fried to the point he doesn't even know what he's doing at this point.
Or he's being manhandled by others. He does mention them. He says, grateful to our fiscal leaders for their work navigating a tight revenue forecast.
Whoa. So say that again. Whoa.
Grateful to our fiscal leaders for their work navigating a tight revenue forecast.
Okay, pause. What is a fiscal leader? Did we elect anyone fiscal leader? Is that like great leader? That's something out of one of those like a David Koresh or those people who believed that the spaceship was going to come and take them to whatever.
Heaven's Gate.
The Heaven's Gate people. Thank you. What the hell is a fiscal leader?
I dubbed the fiscal leader.
If he's talking about the General Assembly, they raised taxes by $1 billion. He hit the nail on the head. He didn't mean to do it, Casey, but he said the quiet part out loud. Fiscal leadership under the Indiana Republican Party is raising taxes. Braun finally said the quiet part out loud.
He goes on to say that they have ensured government stays efficient and focused on what matters most. Clearly, generating more revenue for the state is what matters most to the governor.
Right, and he did this deliberately, and this is why I don't think, even though I think Braun may be suffering from elder abuse, I think he's doing this deliberately because remember when he went on Hammer and Nigel, and he's talking about how they're going to plug the budget deficit, right? Because they can't. The fiscal leaders, despite this radio show saying, economy's a little shaky right now, probably ought not be passing budgets, House and Senate, that have 2.8 billion in new spending. The fiscal leaders said, quiet, peasant. We know what we're doing. And then, oops, looks like we screwed it all up. Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah.
he goes on Hammer and Nigel, he being Braun, and they ask him, how are you going to fill this $2 billion hole?
The forecast.
And he says, well, we're going to cut taxes, or we're going to cut government by $1 billion. And I remember watching that in real time going,
He's missing $1 billion.
Yeah, what about the other $1 billion? And he literally walks from that chair that he was sitting in, that I'm pointing at right now. He walks from that interview down to the State House and announces $1 billion of new tax increases. He didn't have the guts to look at Hammer and say, I'm raising taxes by $1 billion, but his memory wasn't that screwed up because he walked down the street. It's not like he forgot.
At the press conference.
And announced he was doing it.
Yeah.
And this is why 70% of the people in that Abdul survey said to Braun, we hate your guts. Because it's not just what you do, it's that you're lying. You lie over and over and over and over again to people.
So I thought it might be fun to review some of the comments from that post that he put out.
You're saying on Twitter where people can reply. Ah, very good.
So let's just go through a few, shall we? Not impressed. Can you abolish property taxes, please? Executive order. Make the people we hired to figure it out. That is part of their job. Somebody else says, tax relief for Hoosiers? You are the most disingenuous person. You promised property tax relief. In fact, you rolled up your sleeve in front of a bunch of supporters and vowed to fight, fight, fight. You can try to spin this all you want, but the vast majority of Hoosiers that got you elected see right through your smoke and mirrors.
And we'll get into this with Jim Merritt, and we'll get into this with Abdul because they're both going to be with us today. In that poll or that survey that Abdul put out, every politician but one was underwater. Braun is at 70% disapprove. Diego's at 80% disapprove. Micah's at 54% because Micah's people tried to spike the poll. And Micah's so disliked that even though his people tried to spike the poll, they couldn't get him above 50%. 54% disapprove. There's one guy who had a better approve than disapprove, and that was Rokita. And what that survey should show amongst the base of the Republican Party, which 70% of the people who took it identified as Republican or conservative, they're willing to deal with incompetence because you can't get much more incompetent than Todd Rokita. But the one thing about Rokita, he doesn't bullcrap people. He says exactly what he thinks. He takes on fights, stupid or otherwise, and he leans right into it. And with Braun, clearly they think he's a pathological liar because he did on property taxes. With Diego, they think he's utterly corrupt and unethical and lying to them. And with Micah, they see a guy who promised to be a fighter against Braun when he pulled the crap Braun's pulling on the budget and the property taxes. And Micah is Silent Suzanne 2.0. By the way, did Micah ever make that video about the budget that he promised us on this show he was going to make about the tax increases? Did he ever make that?
Not that I've seen.
Huh. Guess he forgot.
I want to share just a couple more of the last comments with you. One says, and this is in regards to Governor Braun's tweet about the budget that he signed. One comment said, you lied about property tax, Mike. We will never believe or trust you again on anything, all caps. Another comment, how about my property taxes, Governor Braun? This is the main reason I voted for you. And finally, the one that made me laugh the most, somebody commented, I stopped at the rest area East I-70 yesterday. Eric and Sue are still in office. There's pictures of Eric Holcomb and Suzanne Crouch at the rest area still.
Was Vincent the Chin, the mafia guy who ended up shuffling around the streets in the bathrobe? Was he the one? I think he's the one. I don't know. Anyway, that is my goal by the end of Braun's term, is that he's so miserable and delusional. And I think this radio show can pull it off. To make him so miserable and delusional that the final year he's in office, because he won't be a two-term governor now, but his final year, he just shuffles around the State House in a bathrobe. Yeah. I'm really setting high goals for myself, Casey.
So Indianapolis has decided how they're going to spend $27 million that they put aside last year, and the county council wants more money for the Hogsett investigation.
Oh,
let's talk about their budget.
Wait, they want more money to investigate?
More money, me money now.
This is the Thomas Carl Cook thing, right?
Correct.
Where Hogsett allegedly, they're not investigating where Hogsett was during the riots. We still don't know where he went there. They're investigating his buddy, who does know where he was during the riots, Thomas Carl Cook, allegedly using his position of power in the mayor's office to harass subordinates.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. We're going to talk about Indianapolis's budget coming up from 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
President Trump's new plan to pay illegal immigrants to leave. Self-deportation out of our country.
$1,000 stipend.
Hear the news.
Gunfire at the Hendricks County Courthouse.
2 Hendricks County deputies were transporting inmates to the courthouse.
Confronted by this man who was at the courthouse already.
As events happen.
Displayed a firearm.
The man was shot and killed.
We'll happen to be there.
Lilly, $4.5 billion medicine foundry.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 62225. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Masters Heating and Cooling is ready to make sure you are cool and comfortable all summer long. They took great care of my system, and they can help you make sure that everything is ready to go to ensure a nice, comfortable summer and then a very comfortable winter. I've worked with their general manager, David, numerous times, and it has always been a pleasure. And right now, you can get $500 off a new AC system. And if you've worked with Masters before and you've spent more than $500 on AC repairs in the last year, you can apply that amount as a credit towards a new system as well. Masters Heating and Cooling makes it easy. They've got flexible financing options and 24/7 service. So no matter what your issue, Masters Heating and Cooling is right there to take care of you and your family. Give Masters Heating and Cooling a call. 317-567-9505. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-567-9505. Or request service online at mastersindy.com. mastersindy.com.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 61,995, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through May 31st, 2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
I was driving to my sister's house and it happened just like that. The guy apparently had been on the phone and just wasn't paying attention. I got 2 bars and 6 screws in my neck now. For the 6-day hospital stay and the 2 surgeries was over $300,000. I just had my husband call Hensley right away. They took care of everything. It definitely happens. So just hire Hensley.
I gave it a shot, and I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
B&W's Premier Club membership goes a long way to prevent heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical problems. Go to bplusw.com.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
I was right.
Yeah, what's that?
Vincent the Chin Gigante was the mobster who wandered around the streets in the bathrobe looking all disheveled and suffering from, some sort of Alzheimer's or whatever to try to avoid prison. I was right about this mind, Casey. That's because
steel trap.
We were pondering, like, how does the next 3.5 years look for Braun last segment? And I said, obviously, when you look at that Abdul survey, he's just hated by the base. The Democrats can't stand him either. And while it sucks that the people got screwed, the next 3.5 years on our show is going to be fun, Casey. And I want to my goal is to, because I'm done trying to work with these people. I'm done trying to get along with them. I'm done trying to promote them. This was it. This was the last straw. You thought it was bad under Holcomb. You ain't seen nothing yet. My goal, by the time Braun's term is done, the one term, is that at the end, he'll be shuffling the State House. He'll be so miserable and delusional that he'll be shuffling the State House in a bathrobe like the Chin, mumbling to himself.
All right, well, let's talk about how Indianapolis has decided how they're going to spend $27 million. This is money that the city was mandated to put aside from the budget 2 years ago, and they're now getting the excess back from the state, and they've decided...
They doing roads?
$13 million of it going to roads, stormwater, and infrastructure improvements.
Okay, that's fine. Now, the problem with this is Hogshead is completely incompetent, so no guarantee he'll do it well. Where's the rest going? Shouldn't it all be going to the roads?
Okay, well, $2 million is going to go for the purchase of DPW trucks.
Okay, all right.
$2 million to hire contractors to remove snow on residential roads.
Okay, well, that's better because they clearly aren't removing any snow on some of these streets. So at least maybe some of the streets will get snow. By the way, is that picture correct that people are sharing, that they patched over a cone? Have you seen this picture?
I have seen it. I thought it was maybe a cable of some sort, or
but like
piping,
I think
something.
guys like Andrew Ireland were sharing it,
right.
who's an elected official, so he's going to look like an idiot if that's not true. I thought there must be some validity to it if guys like that are sharing it. So this picture, they're doing road patching, and appears they patched over
a cone. An orange cone.
It's in the ground.
Are you surprised by that?
Well, no, but No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not surprised by that at all.
$2 million going for maintenance of parks. You've got $2 million for crime prevention grants.
What does that mean, maintenance of parks? They aren't already maintaining the parks? What do they need $2 million additional dollars for? What are we not currently cutting the grass? What does that even mean? Maintenance? Can we keep the vagrants out of the parks?
Trash cans?
Is it $2 million to keep the homeless people and the panhandlers out of the parks? Is that what does that mean? $2 million additional for parks.
They also want $2 million for the homeowner repair program, and this helps income qualified residents receive assistance for home improvements and upkeep.
Wait, I got to pay for some guy to upgrade his house?
$1 million for urban forest preservation.
What the hell is that?
Trees.
But it's a forest. It's already there. Just let it be a forest.
It's an urban forest.
Right.
Planting more trees. That's what I'm guessing. You've got $600,000 for Circle City Readers. This is a literacy program.
Wait. We're spending... Wait. I thought that was IPS's job, was to teach people how to read. I thought that was the public school system's job to teach people how to read.
Nope, this is a literacy program that helps young children improve their reading skills.
Are you saying that that's an admission that the public education system is not doing a good job of educating the children?
You've also got $500,000 for implementation of safety improvements recommended by the Fatal Crash Review Team.
This is where this is the Zero Vision Indy. Is that what it's called? Zero Vision Zero. This is the Get Rid of Cars Club. This is their push to continue to put more bus lanes, bike lanes, make it impossible to drive in downtown Indianapolis. That is that group's goal, is to get rid of automobiles in the city of Indianapolis.
You've also got $500,000, $500,000 for the expansion and support of new cultural district.
What?
A new cultural district.
We don't have enough culture in the city of Indianapolis. We need a new district.
You need a district.
Oh.
But here's the other
Well, you're paying
biggie.
for it, so good luck.
Yeah, well, you know what else I'm paying for it? The city county council has said that they need $300,000 for the sexual harassment investigation.
Okay, so this is the Thomas Carl Cook investigation, in which it appears very clear, based on the evidence that has been presented and total lack of pushback by Mr. Cook himself, that Thomas Carl Cook was utilizing his position of authority in the mayor's office. He was the number 2 guy to the mayor to coerce, I don't know if that's the right word, convince, whatever, get women to engage in romantic-esque relations with him, and that Joe Hogsett was made aware of this on multiple occasions and did absolutely nothing. And one might draw the conclusion part of the reason for that was Thomas Carl Cook knows exactly where Joe Hogsett was during the riots.
Yeah, so Michael Paul Hart, he's the minority leader of the city county council. He was on with Hammer and Nigel, and he said that it's unlikely Hogsett's going to face any consequences from this, even though his former deputy chief of staff was at the center of it. And he went on to say that the mayor's office is taking this workplace misconduct seriously. So serious that they need $300,000 to keep this investigation
We got to
going.
take a break. Jim Merritt's going to join us next because we got to talk about that Abdul survey and what just a dumpster fire it is for the governor. But I want to come back to this later on in the program because this city council and these Republicans on the city council are utterly laughable, and they are utterly ridiculous how they've handled this whole thing. We
will circle back, Rob, and it is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Something big coming soon from the president. Cloudy sky, 61 degrees on Monument Circle. Your high today, 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:32. President Trump is teasing a major announcement ahead of his visit to the Middle East.
The suspense is building ahead of a President Trump trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates next week, because the president wouldn't go all that way without knowing he could make a big splash on the world stage, and he claims that is exactly what is about to happen.
We're going to have a very, very big announcement to make. Like, as big as it gets, it is really, really possible.
Fox's Peter Ducey reporting from the White House. Cardinals are preparing for a conclave to choose a new pope after a final mass at St. Peter's Basilica. Only one vote is expected for today. A 2/3 majority is needed to elect a new pope. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow up 155 points to 41,073. The S&P 500 also up slightly, 14 points to 5,639.75. And the NASDAQ is up 32.75 points to 19,909. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
He's coming. Here he comes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds May 9th through 17th for Dana Mecum's 38th Original Spring Classic. Join us for the fun, fast-paced, high-energy Mecum experience. For avid collectors, first-time buyers, and enthusiasts of all ages, there's something for everyone. And with more than 3,000 vehicles up for auction, it's a chance to bring home your dream car. Register to bid and buy tickets now at Mecum.com. That's Mecum.com.
The heart of a mom gives everything. Her time, her love, her prayers. And just like Jesus showed us the power of selfless love, many moms and mother figures demonstrate it every day. Whether it's a hug, a call, or a simple thank you, let her know she's cherished. Consider bringing her to church. She would love the time with you to sit and consider the deep things of God. So celebrate her, celebrate love, and give thanks to the one who gave us both, Jesus. LifeChurchIN.com.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Faded pictures in an old scrapbook. Faded pictures that somebody took when you were hard and young and proud.
So there's some new data out on how the politicians did this legislative session. And as we told you yesterday, it ain't good. Let's find out from an expert how maybe the politicians are digesting this info. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Look who it is.
Robert.
30 years in the Indiana Senate, the great Jim Merritt. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
All right, so we did a deep dive yesterday on this in the survey that Abdul put out over at Indy Politics, and basically everyone not named Todd Rokita, the people who took the survey said, "You people eat crap and die." Boy, howdy, that was a bloodbath from the voting populace on how they feel the elected officials did.
Well, not only that, it's a survey, and everybody needs to know there's over 800 folks that will vote. That are registered to vote and will vote. It was the Republican base, and so it was a real message to the legislature, to the governor, to all the elected folks in the state house, as well as to the locals regarding property taxes. And it was one of those times where everybody who just got through the legislative session has to look at themselves, look at the body of work, and decide, are they going to spend a summer ignoring this and saying that it's just a poll which everybody thinks is a snapshot in time? Or what do I do to, in essence, change public opinion? And for our listening audience, the respondents on this probably will be delegates for the 26th convention of the Republican Party.
I hate this because I tried everything in my power to tell the governor this was going to happen, including right to his face before he went out and announced this deal on the property tax thing. And 70% of the people in this poll disapproved of the job the governor was doing. And at this point, I'm cheering for him to fail. I mean, I feel like I've done everything in my power to say I didn't really even want to be in this professional marriage or friendship or whatever we were in, given how you voted in the past. I did it because of property taxes. You lied to everybody. You stabbed everybody in the back. It's like, I'm the only guy trying to reach this dude because clearly nobody in his office is. Josh Kelly, Jason Johnson, the rest of these guys, because there's no way you would allow this guy to continue to go down this path of look at how great the property taxes are when everybody hates it and everybody hates your guts. And this is why I think Braun may be a victim of elder abuse at this point.
Well, I'm cheering. I like Mike Braun. I'm cheering him to pivot, to say to his cabinet, which is full of all-stars, I want you to look at the issues that are a part of your departments. And we're going to have a summer of listening. We're going to kind of pivot, and we are going to get out into the public and talk to people. And that'll be good content for our State House happenings. And what I'm hoping is that everybody who that looks at this poll, that is cited in this poll, take a look at themselves and say, how can we reach out to the public and really be understanding of what Central Indiana and Abdul says on State House happenings. People in Jeffersonville and Pulaski County also opined on this, and so I want this to be almost like a fire alarm / wake up call.
Yeah,
for the Republican Party in general.
Well, the issue here is very clear. 85% disapproved of the job lawmakers did regarding property taxes. That's it. That's the issue.
Yes.
You guys campaigned on this. You didn't do it. And have you ever seen in this case, the governor, quadruple down on something that everybody hates? Like, the only thing I can really compare it to is when RFRA happened.
But Pence pivoted.
He did, right? That's what I'm saying. He didn't start running ads saying, call Mike Pence and thank him for RFRA. He was like, no. Some people think the pivot was bad. Some people think it was good.
But he changed.
But he wasn't out rubbing it in people's, faces.
Right.
And and this is, I think, what's really pissing people off, is not only did Braun stab everybody in the back and lie to everyone and then try to act like he didn't do that, he then is like, look at what a great job we did.
Well, if you look at history as well, when Evan Bayh took over as governor, the state of Indiana was not in the greatest of financial shape. And he started out talking, well, we will not need a tax increase, sale, property, whatever. And then all of a sudden he gets this economic news that's bad, and he comes out in a state of the state address to the legislature and says, I want a hospital tax. We're going to get a hospital tax. Well, the legislature said, talk to the hand. That is not going to happen. Well, Governor Bayh at that time, pivoted, and it went away. And we had some accounting tricks that we used back then, but we don't use anymore. And he went on, and it did not stick to him. He went on and won a U.S. Senate seat and had a very, very successful career. And so my point is that our friend Micah, brother Micah, Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith, has to look at himself and his staff, along with everybody, including Diego Morales and the governor and the legislature. And how are we going to? Let's look forward. Let's not. This survey will be gone. Let's look forward to see how we can talk to Hoosiers and really understand what they're thinking and what their troubles are and how we can serve them in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Braun, you look at Micah, you look at Diego. They're all underwater for the same reason, which is people feel lied to by them. They feel that they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So obviously, Braun, it's property taxes. With Micah, and by the way, Micah's underwater in this, and his people sent the thing out. So he's better than Braun. That was one of the big takeaways for me is Micah did better than Braun, which means Micah's people said, we hate Braun. That made me chuckle.
Well,
but
I'm going to be on the Lieutenant Governor's podcast.
Oh,
so we're going to have a nice discussion about the future of Indiana.
Well, let's talk about this for a second, because one of the things that we got into on State House Happenings, which we taped earlier today, and we're going to talk with Abdul about later, is Micah is mad at me now. I haven't had to talk to Micah other than on the show in over 3 weeks. I used to not really ever go a day without talking to him. He's mad at me because I'm holding him accountable, because I'm giving him the tough love he needs, and he don't want to hear it. And the problem is, the guys like Micah surround themselves. Now, he has some people in his office who know how the state works and are willing to tell him the truth. He don't want to hear that, though. And he has surrounded himself, the people, the shot callers, are these we've hit life's lottery people. I dubbed him the gravy train brigade under Pence, who are simply just, they've got these new jobs and they've got these new titles and these new positions. And the people calling the shots in that office, the people he's listening to, don't know their head from their ass. Mm-hmm. And he keeps getting himself in trouble because he has no person who can grab him by the collar, like on that 3/5 video. I know somebody tried to talk him out of it. He wouldn't listen. Until you start having the right people, and I give Micah this tough love because I love him enough to say out loud what he needs to hear, not what he wants to hear. People hate you. They hate you the same as Braun because they see Mike as somebody who promised to be a check and balance on Braun, stand up to Braun, be a fighter for them. He didn't do any of that on this property tax thing.
Well, also, if you look at history, when Mitch Daniels was governor, he had a really strong leadership cadre in the legislature, in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, led by Brian Bosma, the Speaker, and David Long as the President of the Senate. And I'm certain that those individuals, people like us, would walk in the governor's office and say, you know, Governor, this is not working, and we can't support it. And he would listen. He pivoted a lot and made property taxes a real issue, and we succeeded on that.
Yeah.
And you know, Mitch with his backbone, along with leaders of the legislature, I think he listened well and adjusted when necessary. And that's what really good leaders are do. They serve, but they're also they understand that when somebody says no and talk to the hand, they listen to it.
Yeah,
and pivot.
Hey, real quick, because this brings me great joy. The person who did the worst in this survey was Diego Morales, 80% disapproving. These are when you've got 70% of the people identifying as Republicans or conservatives, and you need those people at the convention to even get the nomination. He might as well just fold.
Well, they had 800 folks that responded to this, 800 plus. I would imagine a large amount, and they're all Republicans. Let's just say that. I would imagine a large percentage of those 800, if not all, are going to be delegates next summer in June of 2026, and that is really the base of the Republican Party. And Diego's got some problems in the next year or so.
Yeah, because how does Diego fix this? He's seen as totally corrupt. He's seen as totally unethical. There's nothing he's done in the office where people go, it's like when Rokita had the voter ID thing where people are like, oh, this is great. Look at the great job you're doing. There's nothing Diego can do to change people's opinion of him.
Well, if anybody goes online to the Secretary of State's website, it's very well run. I mean, I register a small business there, and it was so simple. The office works very, very well.
But he had nothing to do with that. It was
He's got
well
he's got a great staff around him.
But it worked well under
everybody.
Right, ever since Rokita.
Right.
That's why I hate that Rokita turned into such an idiot, because he actually did a pretty good job as Secretary of State.
Yeah, and it's the business arm of state government, really.
And one other thing, and we're running a little long here, but I think this is worth it. So the person who did the best in this survey, overwhelmingly, was Todd Rokita.
Yes.
He only had 38% of the people disapprove. You're looking at 70 for Braun, 54 for Micah, 80 for Diego. Rokita's at 38. And he's no less incompetent than Diego.
Right.
But people look at him, and unlike Micah and Braun and Diego, they see some guy who's not bullcrapping them.
Well, no, he stands up, and he also has a great relationship with the base. And people think of Todd Rokita with a backbone.
Yeah, you do. And to those guys, when you stand for something, Rokita's proof. You can be the biggest buffoon in the world, be totally unqualified for your job, but if people believe you're not bullcrapping them, they will tend to stand behind you.
Yeah, exactly, because he's standing for you.
He is a national treasure. You can find him on Twitter at Jim_Merritt and the Merritt in the Morning podcast on Facebook as well as Twitter. Jim, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Oh, yeah. Hammer and Nigel show. Back at it this afternoon, 3:06. The biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett will join us. We're going to give away some Qualls tickets. Let's go, baby.
Hey, will you be filing for Social Security in the next 5 years? The amount of lifetime income you get from Social Security could vary by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And basically, it all boils down to not only your timing, but also coordinating taxes, spousal benefits, IRAs, 401k withdrawals, and much more. Hammer and Nigel here. You got to make sure you get every penny that's rightfully yours with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery.
We trust Bill Demery, and you can too. And if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. This analysis could help you get hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income, and it's free. Schedule it right now, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Greetings, Boomtown. Ever since this neighborhood switched to Xfinity Internet,
The Wi-Fi is booming!
Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile with one all-in plan.
So we've all got lightning-fast, secure Wi-Fi speeds at home and on the go with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile.
You get the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best in-class equipment and unlimited data included. Plus, add an unlimited mobile line.
All for only $40 a month for 1 year. To celebrate this combo, we're mashing our shows together.
It's everything you need all in one plan. Plus, learn how to get a free 5G phone with a premium unlimited line. Now, sit back and relax with the smooth, relaxing sound
of face-melting acid metal!
Brilliant.
Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Ends June 23rd with paperless billing and autopay to stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet gateway required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $110 a month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual Wi-Fi speeds vary. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Watching your parents get older is something you never get used to. You know it's going to happen, but it still doesn't seem right. Especially when the time comes to consider moving a parent into a nursing home. It's a hard decision for you and them. And when that's the right choice, there's the added stress of what to do with the house. Simple Quarters understands and can help relieve some of that stress. They're a Christian company who is compassionate about what you and your parent are going through. They can help with the logistics of selling the home. They'll buy it as is, no need for repairs, cleaning, staging, or showings. No catch. It's one less thing for you to worry about. Simple Quarters, a Christian company dedicated to helping families through life's transitions. If you're facing the challenge of selling a home due to a loved one moving into an assisted living or nursing home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME, or go to simplequarters.com.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Dana Meekham's 38th Original Spring Classic is back at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, and Tony Katz will broadcast live Tuesday, May 13th at noon. For tickets and info, visit Meekham.com.
What's going on with Trump? What's he doing?
He announced some new holidays, although they're not holidays. 2 new national holidays announced were by Donald Trump.
Wait. He announced holidays, but they're not holidays?
Correct. One was November 11th to commemorate the end of World War I, Armistice Day, and the other was May 8th to commemorate victory in Europe from World War II.
Wait. Don't we already have a thing for November 11th?
It's already Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, thank you. So what is he doing? We already have a thing for that.
Well, he just said that he wants to rename it to Victory Day. He has suggested we need Victory Day.
That's what it is. It's to the 11th hour of the 11th month. Like that's the whole point of the holiday.
Yeah, but he said you're not going to get time off for these victory days. He just wants us to celebrate Victory Day.
But we already have the holiday. What are we doing?
Right.
It's all right. What's the other one?
The other one is Armistice Day.
What is he doing? How much time did he waste on this? At some point, he had to put some thought into this. Shouldn't he be more focused on Ukraine and Russia? Or shouldn't he be more focused on the economy or the tariffs?
Well,
what are we doing?
He said the U.S. has not taken proper credit for winning the world wars. He said we won 2 world wars, but never took credit for it. Everyone else does. But he stated the holidays, they're not going to require closures or anything like that.
Never took credit for it. And has he missed the famous photos of the parade? The famous photo of the people kissing, right? I mean, like, what do you mean we never took credit for it?
He wants us to celebrate victory days.
We have. I mean, I know. Like, I'm not putting the blame on you. I'm trying to decipher something you cannot actually help me decipher. We already have a holiday centered around winning World War I.
Yeah.
But he wants a holiday on the same day.
But you don't get the day off work for it. It's just a day to remember.
You get the day off for Veterans Day.
He said the intent is to celebrate U.S. military victories in World Wars I and II.
We have a special guest when we come back. Diego Morales has a challenger for Secretary of State, and we have to promote any person that's willing to defeat Diego Morales.
David Shelton is joining us next on 93 WIBC.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
You can be a hero at the finish line when you say yes to organ donation. I'm Jake Query, sports radio talk show host and racing announcer. And race fans regularly share their stories with me about how organ donation saves lives. Like the life of Danny, a race fan, husband, father, and grandfather who received a kidney transplant that saved his life in 2024. Be a hero at the finish line when you say yes to organ donation. Learn more at driventosavelives.org.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through May 31st, 2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
I'm sure everyone says this, but my mom really deserves the world. This year, I finally found a Mother's Day gift that comes close. She loves Hellsberg, so I'm getting her these timeless gold earrings she can enjoy for years to come. They feel special enough to show how much I truly appreciate everything she does for me. And I mean everything. I even sent my dad a link to the Diamond Eternity band he'll be getting her, too.
Save up to 50% on Mother's Day gifts Mom will cherish forever. Visit Hellsberg.com or a store near you.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
Summer heat is coming. Will your air conditioner be ready? Don't risk an expensive breakdown. A quick tune-up from B&W catches problems early and keeps your family cool and comfortable. Join thousands of Hoosiers who trust B&W. Call 317-214-0108 or go to bplusw.com today.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios. Don't count them out. The Indiana Pacers go up 2-0 in their series with Cleveland. An Indy man and his son are facing intimidation charges against IMPD. And the new hospital bill that Governor Braun signed into law this week. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
They'll soon be sworn to secrecy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The 133 Cardinals who will pick the next pope weeks after Francis's death. That was at a mass this morning at St. Peter's Basilica before the conclave.
We are here to invoke the help of the Holy Spirit, to implore his light and strength.
Cardinal Batista Ray delivered the homily before the voting. Cardinals gather soon inside the Sistine Chapel. Fox's Alex Hogan's at the Vatican.
This is the largest conclave ever, and it's the most diverse, with 24 cardinals from countries that have never before participated. Later this afternoon, the cardinals will take an oath of secrecy. They'll give up their phones, their electronic devices, access to newspapers, TV, any contact with the outside world. Anyone else who works in the Vatican, like plumbers or electricians, they will not be able to communicate with the outside world either.
One vote's expected today, but if 2/3 of the Cardinals don't agree, they'll try again tomorrow. Two bitter nuclear-armed rivals in conflict again. After India launched missile strikes, Pakistan called an act of war, killing at least 31 people.
Pakistan vows revenge. The Prime Minister's office said Pakistan has the right to respond in self-defense at a time, place, and manner of its choosing. As part of Operation Sindoor, the Indian Armed Forces say they targeted terrorist infrastructure that was used by militants linked to last month's massacre that killed 26 people, mostly tourists, in Indian-controlled Kashmir. But Pakistan denied any involvement.
Fox's Stephanie Bennett. It's another frustrating day to fly into or out of Newark, New Jersey's airport, where Fox's Nate Foy reports.
The FAA came out with a new statement saying it is again slowing departures and arrivals here at this airport because, again, FAA staffing and equipment issues.
Also today, the mandate to have a real ID to board a flight takes effect. Without one or a passport, passengers face additional screening. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They may be down, but never out. Mostly cloudy, 63 on Monument Circle. The high today, 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. What in the world happened last night in Cleveland?
Second one is short, and it's rebounded by Halliburton. The Pacers have a timeout. Will they use it? 4 seconds to go. Halliburton for three. Three ball up top. Indiana by one.
That's how Mark Boyle described the final seconds on the Elevance Health Radio Network. An ugly game early that turned out for the better as the Indiana Pacers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 120-119 in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semis.
To put all this into words, we played from behind the whole game. The fourth quarter, we just hung in. We've been in a lot of these situations this year and down the stretch of the season.
Head coach Rick Carlisle there. The Pacers are now back home for the next 2 games. Friday night's game from Gamebridge Fieldhouse has a 7:30 tip. A father and son from Indianapolis are facing charges of intimidation against IMPD and a detective. It stems from a March hit and run where 43-year-old Emily Martinez was killed. Martin Thompson Sr. is her father. Authorities say he and his son made threatening posts online directed at the department over there not being an arrest made yet in the case. In some posts, Thompson said he would celebrate every time a cop is killed or injured, and said he does not respect law enforcement. Indiana Governor Mike Braun signing the hospital pricing bill into law this week.
This issue has been seen as too tough to tackle because of entrenched special interests.
That's Braun speaking to the possibility of such a bill during his State of the State address earlier this year. House Bill 1004 would regulate high hospital prices in Indiana. You could see Indiana's average price for gas go down to under $3 per gallon, perhaps by Memorial Day.
I'm hopeful that as summer wears on, there will be more likelihood and more opportunity to fill up for below $3 a gallon.
That's Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan. And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, election season starts earlier and earlier these days.
You think so?
Well, I mean, we're a year out, and people are already ready to go for 2026.
Well, Diego Morales, Secretary of State, has already announced that he's running his re-election campaign.
And in that survey, it's very interesting you said Diego, because in that survey that Abdul did, the person who by far performed the worst was Diego Morales.
80% disapprove.
I mean, it's pretty hard to reach an 80% disapproval rating.
Well,
you've got to really try. Not even your own family is voting for you at that point.
Well, except for his brother-in-law.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go. It is Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. And already somebody is stepping up, standing up and saying, no more Diego Morales. I'm here to challenge him. He joins us now. David Shelton, hello.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, so you ran for Secretary of State last time. We said of the underachievers that were running, you stood above everyone else because you are actually, unlike the other two people who are running, you are actually qualified because you have experience in local government that would apply to being Secretary of State. You are the Knox County Clerk.
I am. That makes me the top election administrator in my county.
So imagine that, Casey, somebody with some actual election experience.
Right, somebody who's done it before.
Administering elections.
Yeah.
So you're back, you're doing it again, and you're getting a head start this time. Why?
3 months was not enough time to run a state convention campaign. I learned that the hard way, but I have no regrets. It was a completely positive experience for me, met friends in every county in the state, and maintain those friendships since then.
People will hear, oh, good, someone's challenging Diego. Are you surprised at how he has managed his office? Are you surprised at the way in which he has sort of brought these controversies, a variety of them, on himself?
I am not. I am not surprised at all. When he won the nomination at the convention, I was supportive of him. I wished him well. I offered my assistance, and he hasn't done anything since taking office. It's been a disappointment. His first year in office, he didn't even have a legislative plate to present because he doesn't know our elections. I can't have a conversation with him because I have nothing in common with the person.
Okay, so that's an interesting thing, and go into that because your job as a clerk of a county clerk is to administer the elections. You say he has no idea what he's doing with elections.
His experience prior to being elected Secretary of State, the top election official in the state of Indiana, was he had been a poll worker once or twice.
I've done that too, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
I should have run.
Mm-hmm. Probably could have done a better job.
What are some of the things that you've seen, especially related to elections, where you say that's really bad and that's been bad for the state?
Just his shameless self-promotion does not sit well with me. It's all about him. The office is bigger than the person, and that's what I want to bring back. I want to bring back the honor, the integrity to the office. I want the job to do the job. I am not going to be a stepping stone candidate. This is a destination for me. This is where my heart is leading me because I am passionate about our elections. They're good points and they're bad points. You know, our elections are great in Indiana. We are a shining example for the entire nation, but they're not perfect, you know, and they're not perfect because you have humans involved. And I want to do what I can to increase the consistency from county to county for our elections, and that would include implementing an election boot camp for new clerks. Anybody can be elected a county clerk with no experience, no qualifications whatsoever, myself included. I had no idea what I was getting into. I actually ran on a completely different issue related to court record storage and accessibility. But I came to find that elections are challenging, and I love a good challenge, and it's just become a passion.
David Shelton's our guest. He is the Knox County Clerk. He's announcing here today that he is running against Diego Morales in, it's not a primary, it's at the Republican convention next June. Casey.
David, we could sit here and talk about everything going wrong for Diego Morales. I mean, we do that nearly every single day.
That's right. That's one of our favorite things.
But let's talk about you. I want to know, what qualifications do you bring to the office, and what would you do differently this campaign versus last?
Well, the last question first. Of course, I'm starting earlier. Instead of 3 months, I'm starting 13 months earlier. I'm going to build on the successes that I had the last go-around. During that campaign, even as short as it was, I had the endorsement of over 60 county clerks. 60 of our election administrators in the state endorsed me. That was over 75% of the
That's 92. There's 92 of them. Is that right?
There's 92 counties. At that time, there were around 12 or 13 Democrat clerks. Now we're down to only 9 Democrat clerks in the state.
So you had almost every Republican clerk.
75% of the Republican clerks.
People who know the elections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Daily, I receive phone calls from other clerks with questions about elections. How do we do this? How do we do that? Because our election laws are confusing. Every election law has an exception, except for ones that don't have an exception. So when you think you found the right code that's appropriate to your question, you better read the code above and below it, because it may contradict itself right there in the code itself.
Can you win being running on competence? And what I mean by that is Diego ran on something that things that had nothing to do with the job, which is everybody hates Holcomb, the mask mandate. His election over Holly Sullivan was based on that. Rokita, sort of the same thing. Can you go to a convention and run just based on, I just want to run the office in a competent fashion? Because that's what, as Daniel Elliott's proven as state treasurer, I think he's done a nice job. At least Nichelle has done a pretty nice job as the comptroller. That you guys are administrators of the will of the General Assembly. You're not policymakers.
Well, you're going to have to find a way to merge the actual real issues and red meat topics that the delegates are wanting to hear about. And there are several areas that you can work on that. But I will not lie to the people and tell them, I get in there, I'm going to fix everything on day one, because a lot of it, most of it, if not all of it, requires acts of legislature, either on the state level or on the federal level. I'm already working with our congressional delegation trying to amend federal voter registration laws to help us clean up our voter rolls right now. Our voter rolls are bloated, to the tune of 15-20%, in my opinion.
I think the reason Daniel, and I say this is a compliment, Daniel and Elise they avoid all the drama of everybody else, is they're boring. And you need boring people. I don't mean this like I'm saying this as a positive for you. You need boring people in those positions who just want to do their job and go home.
I kind of want to be that way.
Yeah.
I really do.
But how do you sell that to the base of people who are going to vote at the convention that you want the boring guy because I will just do the job and go home?
Well, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge for me to come out of my own shell because I'm not an in-your-face kind of person. I don't want to impose upon people. But, if you come up to me and say, hey, I want to ask you about this with our elections or that, I'll talk your ear off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to come out of my shell and do the I, the me thing for a good long while, but be able to back it up and follow through with what you say.
Yeah.
So where are you with fundraising? Because we're hearing a lot more names being thrown around. For example, Libertarian, Lori Schillings has announced she's running. There's rumor about Bobai and now possibly even Curtis Hill. So there are going to be some other challengers in the field.
Well, the more the merrier. I am filing my exploratory committee paperwork today.
Oh.
So I have not.
We're your first stop. How exciting.
We are. You are, yeah.
That's
Glad
great.
to be here. So I have not done any fundraising as of yet because I don't want to run afoul with campaign finance.
He knows the law.
Smart. If
How
everybody
about
just knew that, huh?
Okay, so we would be remiss if we didn't say that we are just beside ourselves that the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, disappeared. By the way, David Shelton's our guest. He's announcing he's running for Secretary of State against Diego Morales at the Republican convention. We can't get any answers on how the Secretary of State disappears to India for 10 days and who paid for that. We're not just making something up, right? Like, that's a big deal that they won't give answers.
It's concerning. It really is. What was he doing there? Why was he there? He had RSVP'd to several events during that time frame that he just simply no-showed or sent a proxy in his place for those events. And he seems to think that if he ignores the questions long enough, they'll just go away. You have people like you that will keep on reminding the people. I want to have my campaign about me, about my accomplishments, past, present, and future. But, if he or any other candidates wants to start throwing stones, I'll quickly remind them that they, too, live in a glass house.
We love stone throwers.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good for business.
I won't be going looking for a fight, but I won't back down as well.
If people want to learn more about you, about what you're doing, obviously, I'm sure this race will get heated up here as we go through the summer. But in the meantime, people like to know what it would be like to have somebody competent and boring running another statewide office, which would be good for all of us. How can they do that?
We'll have a website, sheltonforindiana.com.
Sheltonforindiana.com. David Shelton, thank you.
Thank you.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
you understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
When you work,
As long as the category was all Bruce Springsteen all the time.
I told you I think I could win a game of Jeopardy. I could not go on a run.
When you drive home,
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
traffic when you need it,
Stopped on 465 again.
and updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Guys, Mother's Day is Sunday. And whatever you do, if you have your mom with you, be sure to give her a hug, a call, or a simple thank you. Let her know she's cherished. Celebrate the love and give thanks to the one who gave both of you love, Jesus. Life Church encourages you to join them while they honor moms every day. They're going to have special plans this Mother's Day. There'll be special elements at each of Life Church's locations to make sure your mom or mother figure feels celebrated and special. Life Church's campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. They make it super simple for you, plus great online services. Learn more about everything on the web. They'd love to see you this Mother's Day. LifeChurchIN.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
Something that's bugging me, and I got to ask you as the voice of reason if I'm being unreasonable about this.
Okay.
All right, so we got some new guy doing the news.
Mm-hmm.
Jarrett?
Yeah.
That his name?
Jarrett Lewis.
Jarrett Lewis.
Yeah.
Jarrett has been here for several days now. There's been an email sent out.
Yeah.
He's done our newscast multiple times.
Uh-huh.
He's never come in here and said anything to us.
Does he know he's supposed to? Does he have to?
This is my question.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it his obligation as the new guy who's becoming a part of our radio show, which that's what the news is, the news, and we have some great news guys, Ryan Hedrick, John Harris. Award-winning, right. No doubt about that. But they're a part of our radio program. Our radio program is not a part of their news. Shouldn't the new guy come in here and introduce himself? Because I got to know, can we play ball with this guy? Does he have a sense of humor? Can we do the jokes with them?
Right.
I got to know because we like to try to incorporate, as we did with Kurt Darling. We want to promote them.
Right.
But I don't want to get accused of being offensive or whatever. And if this guy's got a personality of paint and isn't going to play ball, then I'm not going to do this with him. Doesn't he have an obligation as the new guy becoming a part of our show to come in and introduce himself and talk to us and tell us a little bit about him?
I don't know. I think that you're the tenured one here, so it's up to you to go introduce yourself to him. Like, he's still trying to find out where the bathroom is. And
yeah, exactly. He should be coming in here and asking us stuff.
Well,
he should
he's
be coming
probably
in
asking John Herrick stuff. But
he's not on the John Herrick show. He's on the Kendall and Casey show.
No, but John Herrick's his boss. So if he has any questions about things operationally, he's going to go to John Herrick. I think it's up to us to go introduce ourselves to him and say, hey, we're Kendall and Casey.
He should know that.
Welcome to town.
If you are a dancer for Taylor Swift, do you insist that Taylor Swift come up to you and go, hi, what's your name? No, you're like, I'm Fred. I'm a dancer. Hello, how can I dance better? How can I better help you make the show whatever, right?
Are you comparing yourself to Taylor Swift?
No, it's just the first name that came into my mind. Like, you're a backing musician for the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Do you go up to do you expect?
I think he's coming in.
No, it's Carl. Is he coming in now? Oh, very good.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Jarrett.
Look, all you had to do was invoke his name and he appears. I
All
like
right,
that.
who are you? Tell us about yourself.
I heard you were talking smack about me without my knowledge.
Well, you're the new guy.
Sounds like he can play ball, Rob.
You're the new guy, and we need to know about you because we like to incorporate our news guys into the newscast, and we didn't know if you were down for that. We've had other newscasters in the past who had no fun of any kind was their approach. So tell us about you, Jarrett. Tell us about you.
Well, I'm from here. It's good to be back, actually. I spent about 2.5 years outside of Indy.
When you're from here, where are you from?
Greenfield.
Greenfield.
Yes.
All right.
You went to Ball State.
I did.
Yeah.
So you broadcasting degree or something?
Yeah, similar.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff thrown in there.
And then you, like any smart person, got as far away from here as possible.
I did. And yes. I
West
was down
Virginia?
I went to West Virginia. I was there for 1.5 years in Charleston.
My question, do you have to sing, is it like state law? You have to sing Country Roads while you're there?
It helps. Yeah.
West Virginia.
I drove through West Virginia. I used to own a radio station near Wilmington, and there was no good way to get to Wilmington, so sometimes I would go through West Virginia. And it always reminded me of like some sad Dickens novel where there was just clouds at all times and smoke coming out of the chimneys of buildings, and it looked very depressing.
Yeah.
Did you find that?
Maybe. Yeah. In the nicest way possible, I'll say it was.
You don't have to be nice on this show.
Morgantown looks beautiful, though.
It is. Yeah. I wish I would have gone up there more than I did, although it was, more than a 2-hour drive from Charleston. But yeah, Morgantown's a great place.
Okay, so you went to West Virginia, then what? Then what happened?
Then Houston. That's where I just came from. I was there for about a year.
You gave up Houston to be here?
Well, it's home.
You might change your mind in the winter.
Hey, I got a long life ahead of me, too. So,
okay,
we'll see.
Very good. All right, so you're fine if we incorporate you into the show. We'd like to make smart comments to our newscasters because we're promoting you. We want you to succeed. That's really our goal.
That.
We lift everybody up here on the program. So, okay, see how easy that was?
Jarrett, what do you do when you're not working, or do you have any hobbies or anything?
I didn't know this was going to turn into his life story. I just want to know like
what he's into so that we can go to it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, what do you do for fun?
I've been running a lot lately.
Like running, like I'm a
physical fitness.
Well,
like running from someone or something? Or
I ain't running for something. Both. I'm running from something.
I've been running. I mean, actually, it started down in Houston. For whatever reason, I decided to start running when I got down there in the middle of the summer, and it's 95 every day. So I'm not sure what I was thinking. But, I mean, I just started it. Mm-hmm. It was a way to meet people, and now
Did you do the mini marathon last weekend?
Well, I was here. Ryan and I were here for that, and we went down. We were here Saturday morning, and I saw all the people, and I'm like, you know what? I could definitely have a goal, I guess, to try and do this maybe next year. Very cool experience.
Are you our permanent news guy? Are you with us now?
I am.
Okay, very
I'm
good.
Here.
Perfect.
Have your way with me. I'm ready.
Oh, hey now.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You might regret saying that.
Okay, Jarrett, welcome to the team. We're glad you did the right thing and came in and introduced yourself, and we will make all of your wildest radio dreams come true. The fame and fortune you're going to have working with this program.
Were you waiting for us to come say hi to you?
Big word.
No, you just didn't care.
Well,
You're like, screw these people. I got to read the news.
I got work to do. There's going to be a time.
Already, he's thinking he's more important than us.
That's right. Well, that's how it works, right? Okay, Jarrett, thank you. You're
thank
the best.
you, Rob. Thanks, guys.
Jarrett.
All right, so we got to talk about see how nice he was, and see we forced his hand.
Yeah.
See, you're too nice to people. That's the problem.
I was going to go introduce myself.
You let people bully you around. And I played hardball, and he came in here. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I wanted to get into. We touched on this very briefly last hour, and I said I want to get into it again, which is this investigation. I use that term very loosely because I'm not sure how
the
much
ongoing sexual harassment
investigation actually going on.
Yeah,
with Joe Hogsett and how Michael Paul Hart. He sounds like the singer of a band, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Our front man, Michael Paul Hart.
Lead singer. Yeah.
And you know what they say
somebody
about
who would be in the Brat Pack?
People with 3 names. It's all the serial killers have 3 names too. Not that insinuating that he's a serial killer, but they always have 3 names.
He's the minority leader of the city county council.
He can either be a band leader, the serial killer, or the minority leader of the Indy City County Council.
Yeah.
He was on Hammer and Nigel, and he said that they're now going to put a bunch more money into this investigation.
Well, they're asking for $300,000 more to keep the investigation going. They've already spent over $100,000.
This has been going on for months, and this should enrage. This should enrage people that this clown with a straight face will come on and say that. Because first of all, this is exactly what I said was going to happen last fall, whenever that was, when they launched this investigation. I said they're going to drag this thing out. And by the way, all these people are in cahoots together because they're all part of the same establishment. There's maybe Bain is pretty conservative, Josh Bain. That's about it. All of these people, many of them get money from the same places, the donors, all of this stuff. There is basically no difference between these Republicans and Democrats on this city county council. And I said this is exactly what's going to happen because they're all protecting the same group of people, that they're going to drag this out and they're going to slow it down and they're going to hope that you forget about it. And voila, Casey, how many months are we later and they still don't have any answers in what should be a pretty simplistic thing?
Well, Hart said when he was with the Hammer and Nigel show that they're updating their operational policies for the city, and they've been working on that for what seems to be a very long time.
Don't proposition or strong-arm subordinates for sex. How hard is that?
So Hogsett has been hearing complaints about Cook's behavior since, 2017 it's been. Kept him in that top position until late last year. And then didn't Cook go get a job somewhere?
Yeah, this is okay. So this is, and again,
related to contracts they had.
So Mirror Indy and the Indy Star did this detailed reporting. They identified the women. The women have presented evidence to back up their stories. It seems a pretty easy thing to investigate. Can you prove they sent the emails and had the contact with Hogsett? If the answer is yes, then he has covered it up. Done. How much did that cost, Casey? Zero. Here's the other thing that's maddening about this. Why you even need a firm to investigate and pay any money is beyond me. You are the city county council. You are in charge of Joe Hogsett's budget. He gets $0 without your permission. They should have said the same thing to him that the state legislature should have said to Diego Morales, which is until you come in here and tell us who paid for India and what happened there, you're getting $0. The Secretary of State will be stripped of all statutory authority, and all the money is going out the window with it. He would have got in there real quick and answered those questions. They didn't do it because they know the answer of who paid for India, and I bet you're going to find that whoever paid for India with Diego is connected to many of these lawmakers and statewide office holders in various capacities. Same thing going on here. You are the city county council. You have the ability to essentially bypass all the FOIA stuff that regular people have to go through. You can get any email, any phone log, anything far faster than anybody else. Oh, and if you don't get it, then you just tell Hogsett anything you get fought on, you're done with money until you do what we say. They are slow. They are doing exactly what I said last year that they were going to do, and they know what the answer is. They know what a scumbag Thomas Carl Cook was. They know Hogsett covered it up. Why? Because Thomas Carl Cook knows where Joe Hogsett was during the riots.
Well, sure. So now they're asking for $300,000 more to keep it going. And you know who's going to pay for that, Rob? Do you know?
You.
Me.
You are going to pay for it.
Because I live in Indianapolis and they're paying this through my tax dollars.
That is insulting that guy comes on with a straight face. Oh, we're going to need an extra $300,000 to give to... You can get these answers whenever you want.
Yeah, they hired this outside law firm to handle the investigations. And what is taking them so long? As you mentioned, it's ridiculous. This just keeps being drug out, and they're just costing people like me and you, if you live in Indy, more money. You already know the answer.
This is a very simple thing. And I know we got to get to the news, and our award-winning new fabulous newscaster Jarrett will have the news. See what a better working life that is for you now, Jarrett, that you came in here and talked to us. But this is so simple, and the reason they're not getting answers is they don't want the answers.
All right, we've got an email from somebody, a listener from one of you. We're going to share coming up on 93 WIBC.
You're listening to 93 WIBC. I'm Matt Bear. I'm excited to have a special guest joining us, Jeff Jr., the founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth.
What's up, Matt?
I hear your connection to Indiana runs pretty deep. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife used to live in Indiana, and my father and mother-in-law, they actually live in Kokomo. And my brother-in-law, he lives in Franklin. With so much family here, it was only natural to bring Trajan Wealth to greater Indiana and help all the Hoosiers plan for a better financial future.
I also know you and your wife served our country in the Marine Corps. Would you say the Marine Corps helped with the financial business you're in?
Unequivocally, yes. I completely credit the Marine Corps with most all of the intangible qualities, such as leadership, attitude, willingness to learn.
Trajan Wealth is a family-run, veteran-owned financial fiduciary. Call them today, 317-480-4040, 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Boy, there might be a pause in the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire. It's cloudy, 64 degrees on Monument Circle. The high today, 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:31. Talks to end the war between Ukraine and Russia appear stalled as fighting continues in Eastern Europe. At the Munich Security Conference in D.C., Vice President J.D. Vance discussed the importance of holding discussions between the two countries.
You don't have to agree
with the Russian justification for the war, and certainly both the president and I have criticized the full-scale invasion, but you have to try to understand where the other side is coming from to end the conflict. And I think that's what President Trump has been very deliberate about.
Russia has already rejected the Trump administration's proposal for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, President Trump is promising a big announcement ahead of his trip next week to the Middle East, although it's unclear for what it relates to. The College of Cardinals are meeting today with the election of a new pope possible within the next few hours. An official vote could also be made later this week. 2/3 majority is required for the election of a new pontiff. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Indiana roads are getting safer. Thanks to Indiana's new Safe Zones program, the hardworking men and women doing construction on Indiana's roads can work more safely. And you'll be safer too. Every year, people lose their lives in Indiana construction zones, often because they're driving too fast. The Safe Zones program from the Indiana Department of Transportation keeps speeds safer for workers, safer for drivers, safer for you. Now you'll see Safe Zone signs before you enter a construction zone, letting you know you need to slow down. To help you get used to the new Safe Zones program, the first time you're caught violating Safe Zone speeds, you'll get a warning to help you remember to slow down and keep the road safe for workers and other drivers. Thank you to legislative leaders and industry partners for creating the Indiana Safe Zones program to keep Hoosiers safe and for making Indiana a leader in road safety. Indiana Safe Zones. Safe speeds for everyone.
This is a message from the Indiana District Council of Labor's International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey guys, it's Rob for our friend Mark Dietel. You know, we love Mark Dietel, and let me tell you a little bit about Mark Dietel and why. If you're selling your home, he is the guy for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity is up. Now is the best time in years to sell your home. However, some homes are sitting on the market. Hiring an expert who can maximize equity and minimize hassle is the key. The agent I recommend, our buddy Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried with a challenging market, you won't sell your home for the price it's worth. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what David in Martinsville had to say about working with Mark Dietel. We bought our dream property and had to sell our old place with land by the end of the year to avoid a big tax hit. We had an agent friend who gave us no activity for months. Worried, we turned to Mark Dietel to save us. Mark's team took over, marketed our property like pros, and got our property sold in plenty of time. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us, 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America. common sense government, and peace through strict.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, 317-214-0108, your American Standard air dealer.
It's spring in Indianapolis, and the air is bright with birdsong and re-emerging life. But you can hear something else downtown, or rumbling along the banks of the White River. The greatest spectacle in racing is coming. For me and 400,000 annual pilgrims like me, that distant roar we hear brings a smile that lasts the whole month of May. This is Speed City. Welcome to May.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
No, we probably can't have that conversation yet. That's when I'll get in trouble. Probably got to wait.
Yeah, you totally got to wait.
But then maybe we'll have that conversation. It's Kendall and Casey. See, look at how I'm growing. There was a time where I just would have gone right on air and had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have gotten in big trouble. It would have been great radio, but I'd have gotten in big trouble afterwards.
Probably.
But
I ain't going down for that.
Well, you wouldn't have gone down. I would have said all the things. You see, this is the
because I'm nice.
Well, no, this is the problem with our little partnership here. Is you set me up to say all the things, and then you just sit there and don't say anything, even though you're totally complicit. It's like you're involved in the crime, but because you didn't pull the trigger, you turn state's evidence. Then,
you think?
Oh, Casey's nice. Rob's the bad guy. When you agree with everything I would have said.
Probably. But so what are you saying, that I just sit here and poke the bear?
Yeah, well,
I like to tee up stories that I know are going to get you riled up.
I'm out of the. I'm not going back to prison again. I'm not going back to radio prison.
Radio
too smart
prison. What is that?
When I turned 40.
Oh, is that when you have to do the overnights?
Became too smart for that. All right, we did get a email that I wanted to read. And we're gonna I'm gonna use the hate mail to read this. Some of it's not hate, some of it's nice, but the tone is hate because everyone should hate what's going on with property taxes. Okay. How about that?
I like it.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Kevin. This comes from Donald, by the way. Longtime listener. Great guy. I mean, I've never met him in person, but on the internet he seems fine.
He emails nice.
I bet Bundy would have seemed nice on the internet too, though. So anyway. Today was made crystal clear to me that property tax assessments are based on complete bullcrap. 2 years ago, I put in for an appeal. Today, I got a call from someone in the assessor's office. He was actually just responding to an email from me asking when the 2025 assessment numbers would come out. He said those numbers would be out in about 2 to 3 weeks while the, quote, review is done. I took that to mean one last check to be sure they were getting enough to pay the bills with. He noted my file showed a pending appeal. He graciously offered to resolve my appeal since we were on the phone anyway.
Nice.
They have a backlog of tens of thousands, and there are just 8 people in his office processing appeals. I had assumed my appeal got tossed or at best prompted somebody to freeze my assessed value. He noted mine had stayed the same for 23 and 24. At the very moment he called, I had my own appraiser standing next to me. I have been contemplating yet another appeal, so I hired a professional appraiser. She was finalizing data collection for preparing her appraisal. I'll get her written report in a week or so. Back on the phone, without any prompting from me, the assessor guy offered to issue an adjustment to me from $361,000 to $325,000. Just like that.
Just like that.
No checking with his manager or obvious method of recalculation. He just pulled a number out of thin air. It's slightly lower than my 2022 assessment. I am convinced the entire assessment process is just some kind of con game where they make up the numbers.
It certainly seems so.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just pulled a number out of thin air.
So a couple things at play here. Number one, what did we tell you? We said they don't have nearly enough people working in these offices. Tens of thousands of people, which is the exact number that he said, are appealing. And so that's why we said going through the informal appeal is the first step that's always best because you're going to run into what this guy ran into, which is years and years and years sometimes before they even get to your appeal. And then, which is what the guy, remember when he had the Lafayette, the Tippecanoe County assessor on? He's like, there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. We make mistakes all the time.
Right.
This guy's just like, yeah, we'll knock $36,000 off your assessment.
What did he call him? The assessor guy?
Assessor guy.
I'm sure that's his official title.
No,
it's on his business card and everything.
Here's the reason. No, just none of that. Yeah, we'll knock off $36K. How's it? I mean, so you're talking $360. He just saved this dude like that.
Well, it seems like maybe the assessor guy just wanted that off of his plate. Like, you know what? If I could just make this guy happy on the phone, this is one less appeal that I have to deal with.
Right, and I don't blame him because the whole system is a giant scam. And the fact that, and this is why people are so mad at Braun right now, talking about how great this all is. The assessment process, where there's no rhyme or reason for any of it, where at best, if you could come up with a rhyme or reason, you get punished based on what somebody else sold their home for. Unrealized capital gains, which Mike Braun and the Republicans were calling Kamala Harris a Marxist and a communist and a socialist last year during the presidential race for proposing unrealized capital gains taxes on the stock market. But they do it here with property taxes. And then, no, that's just business as usual for us.
Well, another thing that we have to mention is he said that he hired his own professional appraiser.
Right.
I'm sure that wasn't free.
No, I'm sure he had to pay for that. And whatever he's getting back in terms of a rebate, he probably went into the pocket of that person.
Right.
And the whole system is just a colossal... I mean, it's just broken beyond belief. And the fact that Braun and these Republicans have just made it worse, and they're out lying to people, and they're lying about what's in the bill, and they're lying about what it's going to do to your taxes. And it's just, this is why everybody hates Braun right now. And I know that probably people around him don't love him enough to tell him the truth. They're probably lying to him and telling him what they think he'll want to hear. But maybe somebody at some point will actually be honest with him, because otherwise he's going to end up with an approval rating of 3 before this is all done. This is not going away. It's not going to change. It's not going to stop.
No, and when he posted that tweet yesterday about signing the balanced budget and how he's providing tax relief for Hoosiers, one of my favorite comments from somebody was, "Hear me out, ... property taxes."
All right, Hammer's next.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, conclave begins, and who believes that the Houthis won't drop more bombs? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit joynerhomes.com.
Okay, so you're totally getting screwed on the property taxes, and the governor doesn't care about you at all. But you know who does care about you and wants to save you money? Universal Windows Direct. And right now, if you've been thinking, man, I got to upgrade my windows, it's time for some improvement, this is the time because of the home improvement season. And listen to the deal with the home improvement season sale. Right now, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Yes, half off your windows. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months. Yes, that's a whole year to enjoy your new windows before you pay a single cent. And last but certainly not least, you're going to get a free entry door with your window purchase. So let's review. Half off your windows, no interest, no payments for 12 months, and a free entry door. Now, some restrictions may apply, so to get all the information, and most importantly, schedule your totally free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. UniversalWindowsDirect.com, 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here comes Halliburton. Hits the timeline with 7. Outside the arc with 5. In the lane at the goal. He lays it in. Milwaukee has no timeouts. They have to go the length. And this one is over. Unbelievable.
Your blue and gold have advanced to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Catch your Pacers as they collide with the Cavs Friday at 7:30. Get your tickets at Pacers.com/playoffs. Pacers playoffs presented by KeyBank, Kroger, and Starry.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all week for your chance to win tickets to the PPG Armed Forces qualifying on May 17th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More info at WIBC.com.
Hey, you're giving away Rob Thomas tickets.
Hey, how about that? I'm Jason Hammer, by the way. Hammer and Nigel show.
So this afternoon, you didn't know until just now, but you're giving away Rob Thomas tickets.
How about that? So in addition to tickets to qualifications at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we will also be giving away tickets to see Rob Thomas. And again, I just found out about this, and I already know the game we're going to play.
Ooh.
Today, if we can get the phones working, caller number 9 will get the chance to play the game Rob Thomas or Rob Kendall.
I love it.
And I'm going to give a statement.
A quote?
It will either be a statement that has been said by Grammy Award-winning artist Rob Thomas or radio host Rob Kendall. Like, for example, here's an example. If I were to say, Casey, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. Rob Thomas or Rob Kendall?
That's Rob Thomas.
Okay. And if I were to say, coming up next, we have a 15-minute interview with the Libertarian candidate for coroner.
That's Rob Kendall.
That's Rob Kendall.
Yes.
That's
right. They have a real issue with communicating around here, which is crazy because we work for a communications company.
It is what it is. Fly by the seat of our pants, baby. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Speaking of flying by the seat of their pants, that Pacers game last night, and I mean, sometimes a game's going on and you realize this is going to be an epic game, like a slugfest back and forth. I kind of hate that they were down so much and then it was the furious comeback at the end because you didn't appreciate the whole game. I'm seeing one of the legendary games in Pacers history.
It was just like the Milwaukee game that I was at that was here in Indy. Like, Pacer fans, you've seen historic level comebacks twice in 8 days.
That's right.
Think about some of the theatrics and heroics that Reggie Miller brought to the Pacers. Seems like he was good for one of those every postseason. This may be the greatest postseason run.
That's right.
Because it's happening in one playoff session.
That's right.
It's unbelievable.
Winning, I mean, it's obviously things grow bigger over time, and I'm not sure anybody will ever replace Reggie scoring all those points in, 20 seconds or whatever.
8 points in 9 seconds against the Knicks.
Jeez.
The 25-point fourth quarter against the Knicks. The push off of Jordan, hitting the 3 against the Bulls.
But yesterday, when you think they're down, I mean, even take away the fact that they were down 17 at one point.
They were down 20 at one point in the third.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that's when somebody bought the Pacers live at 9.5.
Hello. And you, when you take all that out of the equation, you're down 3 points with whatever it was, 8 seconds, 9 seconds left to go in the game, rebounding in the NBA because the guys are so big. It's often a, sort of a fait accompli. and you somehow win that game in regulation.
And just like the Milwaukee game, you get boneheaded turnovers from the other team to help you.
Yeah.
Right? Stupid inbounds passes, and it's wild. And you look at the body of work that Halliburton's put on in the playoffs. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's Reggie Miller just yet. But there was a game winner against the Bucks last year. There was the game winner against the Bucks this year. There's the game winner against the Cavs this year. I mean, that's a pretty strong resume.
And the thing about this Pacers team, and this was sort of the 90s Pacers teams, lore, larger than life, fondness, over time, people remember things better than they were. But they were grinders, right? Like you usually say
that was the league back then.
Right.
Like 90s NBA was you go in the lane, you're going to have your teeth knocked out.
These guys, they can be down big, and you just feel like it's fine. They'll figure out a way to make this game competitive. I kind of felt that yesterday when they were down, like you said, even in the third quarter. They're going to go on a run. I was watching the game with my dad, and I said, if they can get this under 10 with 8 minutes to go, they're in this ball game. And they did. They chipped all those points away. And boy, it's just unbelievable.
And it's a team effort. Like, it's such a cliche thing to say because usually the NBA is a star-driven league.
Right.
And Halliburton is their star, but they don't win that game without Nesmith. They don't win that game without, Obi Toppin coming off the bench, hitting a couple threes to keep them in it.
Can we talk about one thing that is concerning to me? So at home, TJ McConnell's great. He's like a Broad Ripple 8 at home. When he goes on the road, he's a Broad Ripple 2.
Yeah, that's energy players, though, right? You go back in time, because I know you're an NBA lore kind of guy. You could say that about John Starks, right? Starks in the Garden, different player than Starks at Market Square Arena.
I think there's times you and I could outplay TJ McConnell on the road, but he's great at home. He's phenomenal at home.
He is. He gets to that free throw line. That's his spot where he wants to hit that pull-up jumper. He provides the energy. But keep this in mind, too. Pacers were down 20. They're down 17 entering the fourth. And that's without having any sort of impact game from Miles Turner or Nembhard last night because they were both off a little bit. But Nesmith stepped up and some bench guys hit some timely shots and 2-0, and now it comes back to Indy. And I hope this place is loud and rocking on a beer sample Friday. It's a 7:30 tip-off, so you got an extra 30 minutes to get to the bars, to the restaurants, and get some fuel in you and make some noise.
I got the Pacers at 125-1 to win it all. It sounded like a big bet when I made it, but I thought at the time, I got them before the All-Star break, I said, well, they're pretty good, except their guys have been hurt. And once they get these guys back, they're going to be better than whatever they were, the 8th seed or whatever at that time. And now, how about that? 125-1.
You're 2 wins away from at least getting to the conference finals, which gives you a puncher's chance.
That's right.
Right? So the way I see it, you're 10 wins away from cashing that ticket.
That's right. I am in the cone of possibility at this point.
I have also already made my first Indy 500 bet for the year because when Polo came out and started winning all these races, and I looked at his odds. It's like, there's no way it's going to be this low as we get closer to the 500. So if you want to jump on Alex Polo now, it's as best as you're probably going to get it.
I'm a Renus VK man because every year I hear how fast he is, and then he crashes in the first 50 laps.
You've got Renus envy. That's what you've got.
What's coming up this afternoon in addition to your Rob Thomas tickets?
We've also got Tony Kennett will join us. And right now, if you want to win tickets to qualifications, go to the Hammer and Nigel Facebook page and share our post about being live at Carb Day. Just repost it, share it, you'll be in the mix.
Excellent, Hammer. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Buthan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed. with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of, why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment. Brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at BoerRemodeling.com.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives reminds you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, the ACLU of Indiana filing a lawsuit against Governor Braun. Meanwhile, the governor signing a bill into law this week regarding high hospital prices. A follow-up on the deadly shooting outside the Hendricks County Courthouse, and the Pacers are returning home in a favorable position after last night's come-from-behind win. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
They're about to shut themselves from the outside world. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's the procession of the Cardinals who will elect the next pope weeks after Francis's death. They've just now made their way into the Sistine Chapel, where the doors will soon close. After their oath of secrecy, they won't have phones, TVs, or radios, no communications at all.
The secretive papal conclave will feature 133 cardinals voting inside the Sistine Chapel. One ballot is expected today, up to 4 votes on each day after this one. The conclave will continue until one man has at least a 2/3 majority. The gathering consists of a more geographically diverse range of cardinals than ever before, making it very hard to predict.
Fox's Jonathan Savage at the Vatican. Whenever they elect the Pope, they'll send up a white smoke signal. He's already renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. President Trump now plans something else before a Middle East trip. Fox's Jared Halpern's at the White House.
The U.S. government will refer to the Persian Gulf as the Arabian Gulf, or Gulf of Arabia, beginning next week. President Trump is expected to make that announcement while visiting Saudi Arabia. Arab nations have long pushed for the name change of the body of water off the southern coast of Iraq. Iran.
Yeah, Iran calls the name change hostile and political. There are another 100-plus flights delayed or canceled going into or out of Newark, New Jersey, continuing to be affected by an air traffic controller shortage.
In a statement, the FAA says it's increasing air traffic controller staffing and speeding up tech and logistics communications in an effort to, quote, improve the reliability of operations at Newark, New Jersey's Liberty International Airport. The changes come as Newark deals with a second week of travel disruptions amid reports that air traffic controllers briefly lost contact with planes on April 28th.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The U.S. military lost a fighter jet again. A Super Hornet that went overboard and a landing went wrong on USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier for the second time in about a week. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The ACLU of Indiana going after the governor. It's cloudy, 67 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. No rain in sight, but showers possible for Thursday. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02. The ACLU of Indiana is filing a lawsuit against Indiana Governor Mike Braun. This all over the state budget bill that would change how the Board of Trustees at Indiana University are selected. Prior to the change in the law, IU alumni had the ability to elect 3 trustee members, but now the law says Governor Braun will make those 3 appointments, leaving the alumni with no role whatsoever. The plaintiff in the lawsuit, Justin Vassell, is an IU alum and was a candidate for the IU Board of Trustees election, which was scheduled to begin June 1st of this year. Meanwhile, Indiana Governor Mike Braun signing a bill into law this week that will regulate high hospital prices in the state.
Hoosiers pay some of the highest health care costs in the country. When providers compete, prices drop.
House Bill 1004 will also revoke the nonprofit status of hospitals with prices exceeding the state average. The State Office of Budget and Management will conduct their first study on the matter by the summer of 2026. 2 days after police shot and killed a man outside a central Indiana courthouse, Ryan Hedrick hearing from the people who live next door.
The way he put it was kind of spooky now.
Dennis Wagner, speaking with Wish TV, says he remembers the moment that Mark Votter told him a couple of weeks ago that he didn't have long to live.
Didn't mean anything to me. I just thought maybe he was confused or something.
Votter's great-grandchildren were killed in a car crash in Plainfield back in February. Sidoni Pettis, the man who police say caused that crash, was supposed to be at the Hendricks County Courthouse around the same time that Votter displayed a gun and was shot and killed by police. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An unforgettable end to the Pacers-Cavs game in Cleveland Tuesday night.
Halliburton, the rebound. They do have a timeout. Carlisle's going to let him play. Halliburton steps back and hits.
That's how it sounded on TNT as Tyrese Halliburton lifted the Indiana Pacers to a 120-119 win over Cleveland in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals as his three-pointer fell with just 1.1 seconds left. Pacers lead the series now 2-0. Game 3 is Friday in Indy. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friends at We Grow Hair Indy. You know the Indy 500 is coming up. Lots of hats out there. For me, I say why wear a hat when I have hair, thanks to my friends at We Grow Hair Indy. Call my friends at We Grow Hair Indy for your free evaluation today at 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. Or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com to see how other people have been able to ditch their hats and get their confidence back with a brand new head of hair. Get your hairline back, whether it's multi-unit hair grafting or their Artist Robotic FUE. We Grow Hair Indy has every proven solution to restore your hair. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com right now to get a free evaluation. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call today, 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. And tell them Rob sent you.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by B&W HVAC, Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, this next story is for you because I know you're desperate to see another man die.
What? That's for me? I think it's more like for Jason Hammer. I saw this and I thought about him right away.
Well, you sent it over to us, so don't act like you're not interested in
this. Well, that's because I knew that you guys would be interested in it.
This is what you do when your sick little mind comes to the surface. you blame it on other. I was doing this for you guys.
I was, because actually I have no interest in seeing anything like this at all. Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, so Indiana Capital Chronicle has an article out that they are teaming up with several other news agencies in the city, Circle City Broadcasting, Gannett, and others, filing a lawsuit. So it's Wish TV, Indy Star, THR, to try to get the ban on news agencies being able to observe executions in the state of Indiana lifted. There's currently a ban where, unless they're invited by the person being executed, that they are not permitted to view news media is not permitted to view executions in the state of Indiana.
Right.
Casey Smith got to go to the Joseph Corcoran execution, which was the first one in a very long time, in December. She was invited.
She was a guest of the inmate.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm team news agencies on this. They formed a team. I forget what the name of the group is. There's a name of these group of agencies. And
the Reporters Committee for the Freedom of the Press.
Thank you. Very good. And I am with them 100%, because whether you think the act is warranted or not, whether you think there should be a death penalty or not, whether you think the act is barbaric or in line or deters murder, whatever, is irrelevant. We as a state are spending our money, public money, to carry out these executions. And as a result, you have the right to know what took place. And it really feels like the state is trying to hide what is taking place, because they're worried that if enough people found out about it, then they might be able to rally some sort of support to abolish the death penalty or make the state look bad or whatever. Doesn't matter. We're spending public money on it. The press has a right to cover that thing.
Well, if the government can kill in the name of the people, then the people have the right to see how it's done.
Right. And I felt the same way about, and the Capital Chronicle was successful trying to figure, or has been mildly successful, I should say, amongst others, trying to figure out how much these execution drugs cost. I think we have the right to know what the drugs are. I think we have the right to know where they come from. Now, I get that the argument with that is companies that are doing nothing wrong don't want to be associated with this because they don't want to have their name dragged through the mud, or the protesters or whatever. But if we're going to do this thing, anything you're going to do with public money should have the ability to be scrutinized by the press. And in the case of an execution, you can't just request a document on it, because it's an execution. It's not spending money. It's not the purchase of something. It's not meeting minutes. It's an execution. You have the right to know what took place, and the way to know what took place is to have an eyewitness account, an impartial eyewitness account of what happened.
So Indiana law currently allows execution witnesses, but they include prison officials, spiritual advisors, and family members, but not journalists, which is different from the federal comparison, where their federal executions allow up to 10 media representatives to witness it. So Indiana is unique. It's only one of two states with the death penalty that prohibit media access to executions.
Kev, if I offered you a free ticket to an execution, would you go? If I said, here's one free ticket, we'll even have your parking compensated as well.
I might pass on that.
Really? You wouldn't go?
I don't think I'd go.
You're not curious? I mean, it's not like it's a firing squad. It's just basically like
Is this lethal? I guess it's lethal injection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, if it was electric chair, I definitely wouldn't go.
Really?
But I guess a lethal.
You worried the guy's going to start smoking or something?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, his eyes
be too
might
much
pop
for you?
out. It might be too crazy.
What is it? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Is it a tune? Is that what you think, Kevin?
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd just pass on it altogether.
Yeah, there was a botched electrocution in 1985.
Allegedly. We don't know for sure because there wasn't any media in there.
Yeah, that's true. So the lawsuit argues that the ban violates the First Amendment and reduces public accountability.
I think the public accountability argument is very strong, and I think if you're going to spend public money on something, the public has the right to know through the press what's going on and what's taking place. Now, if I gave you a free, you would not go.
I would not go. I'm the complete opposite in Hammer. He wants to be able to go.
Yeah.
He wants it televised.
Totally.
And I understand it, and that's fine. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah, I am a supporter of the.
I want somebody else to see it. I don't want to be the person, though.
Don't you feel though? So you want to carry out the act. You don't want to know. You're not willing to look at what we're doing as a society.
I would not raise my hand and say, pick me as the journalist to go.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody else wants to be that person, yeah, I'm all for that. I agree. I think that this lawsuit should go through, and they should allow journalists in there. I just don't want to be that media rep.
Hammer and I have both agreed on this for many, many years that I think they should put the executions on pay-per-view, with the revenue being split between going to the family of the victims and to pay for the state's execution. I would be a big supporter of that. I think if you charged $20 and a lot of people would pay to see that, and
I think so.
They would give some restitution to the victims' families. Not that really matters to many people, but also help offset the cost of the execution. I would totally pay $20.
Yeah, no, I'm out. No thanks.
We could have an execution viewing party, like pay-per-view viewing party. We could all come over to Casey's house.
And I'll be in the kitchen
leave
preparing snacks while you watch it and have fun. Some people say that, hiding the process would protect the dignity of the person, but I think it
dignity of the person,
right?
They've been sentenced to death for a heinous crime against their fellow man. No, I don't have there's no room for dignity with these people.
It really would protect the state from any scrutiny, is what it would.
Well, that's what it is, and that's what this is all about. Is the state doesn't want the smoke that comes with. Now, they're not going to get rid of the death penalty because the public in this state supports it, and it would be a bad look, but they don't want the smoke, the heat that comes from the protesters, and they feel like if there was enough information out there, they would get a lot of heat for that, and that's why they don't want the public to see it.
So you do have Benjamin Ritchie. He's scheduled to be executed on May 20th. 5 other people remain on death row.
Now, I think it would be highly unlikely this case will be settled before then, because any ruling would likely there would be a stay, and it's going to work itself through. But good on these agencies. Capitol Chronicle's done this with quite a few things. Good on them for this challenge. The Indy Star in this as well. This would be good, and the public has a right to know.
Something else that I've heard everybody talking about today is the Real ID. Today is the deadline for that. We've discussed this before. You're set. You've got the star on yours.
That's right.
Kevin, I believe we checked his. He's got the star on his. I'm good to go. But everybody's acting like this is such a... Unless you're trying to get on a plane and you don't have the Real ID, that's really the only way it's affecting your life.
I don't understand what it does. I mean, I got an ID. Like, you look at the ID. Is that Rob Kendall? Clearly, it's the same guy. Okay, that's me, right? What does this Real ID do that the just license would not normally do? Is there some? I mean, is this some? It seems like the government's just doing things to do things and making my life more difficult, which. Get in line, but yeah.
Well, they passed this Real ID Act, Congress did back in 2005. So, I mean,
you've had 20 years.
It's 20 years.
You've had 20 years to get it together.
Right? And unless you're boarding a domestic flight or something or trying to enter a federal facility, it's not going to affect you. And just because today is the day of the deadline to get on the flight without a little extra TSA, it's like you still have time. You can still take care of this.
Wait, so you're telling me that if I didn't have that Real ID, then I would be incapable of getting on an airplane?
Correct. Huh. Well, you'd still be able to get on. They're just going to make you go through a few more security checks. Like, do you have a passport?
Kate.
No, you don't.
Casey, we've been through this.
You don't have a passport.
I'm never leaving this country. You know why I'm not leaving this country? Because I need, if anybody on this planet needs it, it is me, freedom of speech and right to an attorney. And anywhere else I go, I believe I would put myself in incredible peril of those two things. And I'm not going in some foreign prison somewhere. It's not going to happen.
And
I don't have a passport.
You don't have a Department of Defense ID?
Yes, for my lengthy
some other trusted
career defending this
trusted, verified identification.
So you can still get on an airplane without the Real ID. You just got to go through extra scrutiny. It's not even a ban of getting on an airplane.
Yes, correct. You just more scrutiny, and you can still go to the BMV and get one. You got to go in person.
Oh, yeah, you can't get it online.
And the ID is going to be mailed to you, so you're not going to get it the same day.
Well, now, I think once you've had it once, they'll send it to you again.
But if it's your first time getting it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
If you haven't done this,
very good,
and you still have to go get it,
I gotcha.
It's going to take a couple days.
All right,
plan accordingly.
So you've got we're going to talk with our longtime friend of the show when we come back,
Aphrodite Jones. She's very excited about giving us an update on the Karen Reed trial, and also we're going to talk about the Sean Combs trial.
Oh, Diddy's going on trial.
Yeah, well, they're selecting the jurors for his trial. I believe they're on day 2.
Oh, wow.
So we'll discuss those things coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
This May, you've got a chance to see what an IndyCar driver's dream garage really looks like. WIBC's Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana, takes you inside Graham Ray Hall Performance, a high-octane hangout where racing meets luxury. Hammer and Nigel sit down with Graham for great stories, laughs, and insights from someone who grew up on the hallowed grounds of the IMS. But this backstage pass to speed, style, and surprises is sold out. The only place to register to win tickets is WIBC.com.
Hey, will you be filing for Social Security in the next 5 years? The amount of lifetime income you get from Social Security could vary by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And basically, it all boils down to not only your timing, but also coordinating taxes, spousal benefits, IRAs, 401k withdrawals, and much more. Hammer and Nigel here. You got to make sure you get every penny that's rightfully yours with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery.
We trust Bill Demery, and you can too. And if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. This analysis could help you get hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime income, and it's free. Schedule it right now. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
Kendall and Casey present True Crime Tuesday on 93 WIBC.
Some things have been happening in the Karen Reed trial, and to give us an update, it's one of our favorites. She's an author, and she's fantastic. Aphrodite Jones joins us. And Aphrodite, you've been keeping tabs on what's going on in that trial with Karen Reed. Yesterday, I believe it was, they played a 911 call. Tell us what is the latest happening in that trial.
The latest is this. We know from the initial statements and the data that Karen Reed traveled 60 feet at 24 miles an hour at 12:45 p.m. So that happened. And the highest ranking officer at the scene, a man, Paul Gallagher, was there to look at the scene, try to find evidence, and what did he do? He used a leaf blower to try to find evidence. The snow cleared, and it revealed blood drops. He collected those drops in red Solo cups. You know the cups we drink for barbecues?
Oh,
Big
sure.
red cups?
Yeah.
That's not how you collect evidence. Right? And he then put that into a paper grocery bag. Now, the leaf blower also exposed a cocktail glass hidden in the snow, which he showed to the jury. What the problem here is this. The Albert family was a very powerful family in that town, Canton. Brian Albert, who owned the house, was recently retired, big shot in the department, and his brother was the number one detective in the department. So what we're looking at here, is there a cover-up? How was that poorly handled evidence? He got blood drops, the highest ranking officer, and it was never logged that night. The fragments from the taillight that were found at the scene do not equal the amount of fragments that were later seen at the scene.
Oh.
So, you have to ask yourself, why, for example, this guy, the highest ranking officer, knew that across the street, he knew the person who lived there, another cop, knew they had a camera at the front of their house facing the house where the accident occurred, where the incident occurred, what you want to call it. And yet they didn't ask for that footage.
Aphrodite Jones is joining us. Do we know whose cocktail glass that was?
Not sure. We think it was John's. We saw them walking out. It could have been Karen's. Clearly there was some kind of fight with them. Clearly this glass was thrown. But why do they find remnants of a cocktail glass and not remnants of red taillight pieces?
Mm-hmm. And what do we make of all the phone calls that she made?
She called him incessantly every 30 seconds from the time she left the party until the time she passed out. Why was she doing this? We saw texts from her. We heard voicemails from her. She starts cursing at him, telling him he's a pervert. She hates him, all of this. We know they were in some kind of fight the night before. But what that tells me is she is not aware that she did anything to him. Lack of awareness doesn't mean you're not guilty. Mm-hmm. And, let me just talk to you about second-degree murder versus vehicular manslaughter. How do they reach second-degree murder? Well, that is an unplanned killing, Casey. Mm-hmm. So second-degree murder means you didn't intend to kill, but your actions mean you could have caused a death. It's in the law called wanton disregard for human life. So if she drove at 24 miles an hour and hit John O'Keefe, that's a wanton disregard for human life, whether or not she was, knew it or didn't know it. Manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter, has a lesser burden of proof. It's, someone dies as a result of a person's negligence, the drunk driving. So there is that if you're texting or racing. But again, it looks like she did deliberately back into him, and this is why they're charging her with second-degree murder. As far as things that are weird, John O'Keefe's shoe was found at the scene, one of his sneakers. Mm-hmm. Now, explain to me how a sneaker would wind up coming off of him if he was hit by a car.
Were they loafers or were they tied on?
No, they were sneakers.
Yeah, I don't know. Were they not tied very tight?
It could be. So we hear from a paramedic at the scene that the paramedic heard Karen Reed say, I hit him 3 times. Now we find out that paramedic was friendly with the daughter of the Albert family who lived there. So that's being questioned now. Mm-hmm. The fact that the words "I hit him 3 times" was never put into any police report. What does that tell you?
Yeah. Aphrodite Jones is joining us. We're discussing the Karen Reed trial, but I want to switch gears, if you don't mind, because there's another trial that is getting a lot of attention, rightfully so, and that is the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. Are we going to get a jury today? Are they going to finalize that today?
It looks like they're going to finalize it today, and regardless, I believe that they said that they will start this trial next Tuesday. This is huge, this P. Diddy thing. I mean, names are being named, okay? So far, we have the jury, when they were questioned during the voir dire, they were asked about Michael B. Jordan, about Kanye West, about Mike Myers. Mm-hmm. All of these people were mentioned as individuals who somehow or another are involved in this or knew about this. We know that search warrants were executed on both his L.A. and Miami properties. We know about the baby oil and the freak outs or freak parties. What were they called?
Freak offs.
Freak offs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was offered a plea deal. He refused it. He believes he's going to beat this rap. But I tell you, what they found during those raids, solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms are also tied to Combs. So this isn't only about sex trafficking or sexual assault. There's more. This man will go away for life if he is convicted. And, we have to start thinking, what is the prosecution going to do? They have all the goods, all right, once he was arrested. They investigated him for a long period of time for the racketeering, the sex trafficking, etc. When Diddy is faced there in the courtroom by the prosecution, his defense attorneys are going to have to argue that he didn't do this, that it was his employees, that it was other people that were, involved in these sex acts and the trafficking, etc. It's going to be one of the trials of the century. Let's face it. I mean, this is kind of like a version of an OJ thing where, one of the top moguls, one of the top people we know as a celebrity, is being accused of this, and yet, again, these freak offs. If it was sex with women and he was abusing them, then yeah. But one person attests to it. I don't know where we go from here. You know that there's 120 sexual assault cases that have been thrown at Diddy since all of this for civil cases.
Yeah, you had mentioned that this will be a big trial. I think it's going to potentially be even bigger than the OJ trial because the prosecutors, they have a list of more than 100 places and people whose names could come up in that trial, and we're just starting to get the first names, and I think that's really going to draw the interest of so many people to realize how many people were at least aware of something, whether it was consensual or not. That is yet to be determined. Aphrodite Jones, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Yeah, it is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The ACLU filing suit against the governor. I'm Sherritt Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The ACLU of Indiana says sections of Governor Mike Braun's budget bill would violate the state constitution. The state budget bill would change how the Board of Trustees at Indiana University are selected. The law says Governor Braun will make those 3 appointments. In a recent chat with Wish TV, Dennis and Charlotte Wagner said 65-year-old Mark Vaughter, the man police say fired shots at inmates outside the Hendricks County Courthouse Monday, told them, "I don't have long to live."
Neither of us realized that those 2 kids had been related to him with the misery he was going going through that we didn't really realize he was going through.
That's Dennis Wagner. The motive still under investigation. And floral giant McNamara florists are trying to prepare for Mother's Day while they feel the pinch from tariffs. McNamara runs 8 stores spanning throughout the metro area. They say they are currently eating the cost of the increase so that consumers don't have to pay anything additional. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Rob Thomas. Live in concert. The All Night Days Tour. Rob Thomas performing for one incredible night. Everwise Amphitheater at White River State Park, Friday, August 22nd, with special guest, A Great Big World. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Rob Thomas, live in Indianapolis. For more, visit robthomasmusic.com. Part of the Jack Daniels Concert Series.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft chews, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
At Puccini's, we think less screen time and more quality meal time is the better way. Eat, talk, and dine with less blue light glaring or talking heads blaring while enjoying great food at a reasonable price is the Puccini's way. Dine in for hot, delicious food prepared fresh and to your liking. If you need anything, we're right there so you'll leave full and happy. We have delivery options and carryout, but let's start dining in together again the way we all used to enjoy so much.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
The Indy 500 is not just a race, it's community. It means long bike rides along our city's beautiful canal paths down to the Speedway. It means tailgating with friends and family, some of whom you only see once a year. It means backpack coolers and headphones. But the Indy 500 is also a car race, and the best one in the world. This is Speed City. Welcome to May.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, B+W.com, your American Standard Air dealer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Kevin's like, I know you hate Lynyrd Skynyrd, but this is a song about moms.
Mama told me.
It's a classic mom song right here.
What were you saying? By the way, did you see that? Well, we'll get to that in a second. What were you telling me about Mother's Day? We were going to have some conversation about Mother's Day.
Well, just, what people are spending on and what.
It's your broadcaster case. You're on the radio. You had a topic about Mother's Day. You said we could talk about blah, blah, blah.
How much we spend on Mother's Day.
Yes, thank you. Is that what you wanted to discuss?
Well, you had this thing about your daughter. And I said,
let's stay with you.
And then we can talk about how much Americans are spending on Mother's Day.
You're not gonna shift this on to me. You had two things. It was something about how much it costs and when.
Oh, the question that I asked Kevin, I said, at what point does the husband no longer buy the gifts on behalf of the child?
I gotcha.
When does the child take over?
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. So, like, my Mother's Day is Sunday. Mm-hmm. My wife will get something from Olivia.
But obviously, she's 2 or almost 2, so she's not going out to the store and buying it.
She should be.
You're doing it on her behalf.
That's correct.
At what point does she have to take over that responsibility on her own?
I think... So I started working a job at 15. Mm-hmm. I think you can work Can you work in Indiana still at 15? I assume you can go places and still work. Once you're earning income, I think the holidays become the events become your obligation, mm-hmm. because that teaches you a lesson that you got to prioritize your money. So at whatever age in which you can start working a job, you should be required by your parents to work a job. And yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Kevin, when was it for you? When did you start buying your mom Mother's Day gifts?
I think it was sometime when I was a teenager.
Yeah. When you could drive.
Yeah.
Go to the store, pick something out.
What are people buying for Mother's Day?
Well, the top thing Mom wants is to be taken out for drinks and a meal.
I thought you were going to say to be left alone.
Followed by flowers, something homemade, a card. And one of the things also that she does want is a clean house and to sleep.
Uh-huh.
But the top gifts are still flowers. Indiana's top flower is lilies and roses combined into one bouquet. Uber Eats says the most popular gift basket item is chocolate dipped strawberries or brownies. And Uber Eats also reports that fragrances were a top beauty gift item for mom.
Because that's all I want for Father's Day is to be left alone.
To be left alone.
It's Sunday at the U.S. Open, and every year I just tell my wife, I just want you and my kid to leave me alone. That's it.
Most moms, 60% said they want to spend time with their children on Mother's Day.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you'd want to get away from that headache for a day. Right? That's your present.
Just leave me alone.
A drama-free day.
Right? No, I think they want to be told how wonderful they are. They want to be, the accolades and the love.
Miss Rachel is big in our house. Have you heard about Miss Rachel?
Yeah.
We've played her on this show before. She's like a YouTuber person. And it's an interesting story. She actually, I believe, had a child with a speech impediment or speech delay. And so she started doing these exercises or whatever with them. And she turned what she was doing to help her own child into helping other kids, not just kids with delays, like all sorts of children, teaching them to speak and how to learn what words are. And now she's a colossal, her videos get millions and millions of views. And she's got I think a deal with Sesame Street and all these things. She's a big deal now. And she's really, really good for little kids to watch. She's great at forming words and the way she does it with colors and things. She's really good. So my daughter loves Miss Rachel, and my mom got Livy a Miss Rachel doll.
There's a Miss Rachel doll?
Oh, yeah. She's got all the things. Right?
She's got the merch?
Right. And she loves this doll now. She got it for her yesterday. She does not want to put the doll down.
Aww.
Now, Gabrielle is telling me that she is concerned because she's calling the doll Mama.
Oh.
But I have a theory. Now, Gabrielle's concerned that she thinks Miss Rachel is her mama. I told her I don't think that's what happened. What I think has happened is Miss Rachel is Caucasian and pretty Caucasian at that. And this doll is darker. Miss Rachel gives some level of resemblance, especially in doll form, to my wife.
Well, they both have long, dark brown hair.
That's right. And my wife is very Hispanic. So
olive-colored skin.
It's part of my... I'm the most diverse person in the building.
Right.
My best friend is black. My wife is Hispanic. I work with a woman.
Right.
My commitment to diversity.
Sure.
Nobody has the commitment to diversity that I do. And so I told her, I think the issue is because you are my Hispanic wife and her Hispanic mother, that the doll is darker than Miss Rachel. And I think Livy thinks the doll is actually you.
A doll of her mom.
That's right.
Right. And that's why she's calling her mom.
That's right. But she loves the doll, which is the part of having the doll. But I think there could be a confusion on who the doll actually is. But she likes the doll, and that's all that matters.
Well, I think it's very much like if you were to show Livy a picture of Gabrielle.
That's right.
She would point at the picture and say, Mama.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Right.
She sees the doll, and she thinks that it's Gabrielle.
This is what I do in my house. I cut off drama before it begins. And I said, we're not doing this today. I said, I think it is because the doll is darker than Miss Rachel, and she associates the doll with you.
So is Gabrielle getting jealous of the doll?
I don't know, but I've cut it off. It's already done. I think I've put the issue to bed. So I'm not going to revisit it again.
This isn't a problem anymore.
No, in my world, it's not.
You're a troubleshooter. That's what you do.
That's what I do. I just cut things off at the pass. That is how we do it in my house. It starts with the phrase, we're not doing this, and then I provide the solution.
I'm looking to see how much the Miss Rachel doll goes for. Like,
there's various ones. This was not a talking doll. This was just like a doll
It's not like the American Girl doll, which could be hundreds of dollars.
No.
I'm seeing it for $25 on Amazon.
That seems like it could be right. She loves this doll, but I just told Gabrielle, I said, I think you're overthinking the thing. I think she thinks it's actually you.
Does Gabrielle walk around wearing blue overalls and a pink shirt? Because that's what I'm seeing on the doll.
It is. That's
here.
what this doll is. It's the blue. I think you may be thinking a 22-month-old is putting more together than she actually is.
Well, I love that she watches the show.
The other thing we've got down to now is whenever she sees a dog, she says dog, including I have statues of bulldogs that look like Bruce, and she will point at them now and say dog.
Good.
So we've got mama and we've got dog. We're experts on both of those. Also ball.
Hey, Abdul's going to join us next, isn't he?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that poll that was horrible for the governor. And Diego. Didn't go well for either one of them.
All right, it's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Oh, yeah. Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon, 3:06. The biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett will join us. We're going to give away some Qualls tickets. Let's go, baby.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS. mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Tamara and Nigel for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027.
That's a lot of savings and a super smart investment. So how exactly do they keep prices affordable? Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in this country. Windows assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale. It ends soon, so do not miss your chance to get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, you don't pay anything until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Breaking news updates, local headlines, and statewide coverage are always available at WIBC.com. When the news moves fast, we will too. Stay in the know while you're on the go with WIBC.com.
Disorder in the house. The tub runneth over. Plaster falling down in pieces.
Well, we did the survey that everybody's talking about, and boy, howdy are people angry at the politicians. He's an author, he's a broadcaster, he's a provocateur. Abdul Hakim Shabazz, hello.
Hello, my friend. How's it going today?
So you put this informal survey out. We talked about it at length yesterday. We got into it with Merritt a little bit today at indypolitics.org, and it basically shows that amongst the base of the Republican Party, everybody is angry at everyone.
The natives are restless. They are very restless. And restless natives are not good when you get ready to go into an election year.
So 70%, I think this is important, 70%. Now, this survey, you always want to put this out there. I think that's good. It's not a scientific survey, but it's also you put enough safeguards. You've done this long enough to do it, so you got to be a human to take the poll. It's not a bunch of bots. There's safeguards about can't take it on the same computer, all of these sort of things.
And one of the other things we do, we ask what zip code you're at.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives us sort of an idea of where most of the traffic is coming from.
And overwhelmingly, the majority of the people, which makes sense, Indy Politics is the name of your website, 72% said they lived in central Indiana. So this is perfect for our audience. 70% of the people identified as Republicans or conservatives. So this really was the base of the Republican Party sort of taking this survey.
I would say part of the base, but part of people who are engaged and paying attention.
I think that's better. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you have a lot of establishment people that read your stuff, but my point is, it's not a bunch of, you can't blame the results as people like to do on the radical left or the whatever.
Yeah, because I can see right now, my friends on the other end of Market Street who want to dismiss the poll, like, well, it's an informal survey. It wasn't scientific, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, and I admit that. It was. However, you can't ignore the fact that we surveyed more than 800 individuals who are all registered to vote, by the way.
That's right.
All these are people who will go to the polls and will vote. You can't ignore what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and you ignore them at your own peril.
Yeah, that's right. So the big one was Braun. 70% of the people disapproved of the job Braun was doing as governor. And when you say 70% of Republicans or conservatives, obviously the Democrats hate him and aren't going to vote for him because of his ties to Trump at the time of the Senate, et cetera. He's in huge trouble.
I would not want to be on the SS Braun right now. Now, I'm not saying that ship of state can't be turned around. However, turnaround it's like turn around an aircraft carrier. It's going to be a very slow, methodical process.
How would he do it? Because the issue that's driving it, and he's getting what he deserves because he was begged not to do it by me, others, is property tax. 85% of the people in this survey disapproved of the job lawmakers did regarding property taxes. And not only is Braun, did he sign the bill, he's basically throwing it in people's faces, saying, look at what a great job we did. Call and thank me for this.
And they're going to call you all right. I don't think
Have you ever seen a politician do that on something that they have to know is wildly unpopular?
No. And this is Illinois politics, too. And those guys are friggin' brazen. No, I've never seen anyone have such a bad issue and then want to take credit for the bad issue. I'm like Governor, no, you can't do that.
Who's advising? Like, obviously, Josh Kelly is his chief of staff, but there have to be people other than him that are telling him this is a good path forward.
My question is, and we talked about this on State House Happenings, and I'll bring it back up here, is I'm a firm believer that every elected official should have what I call a WTF person.
Yeah.
That's person like, sir, what the blank are you doing? No, we're not doing that. Stop that. For Eric Holcomb, it was Earl Good. For Mike Pence, it was Bill Smith. It was sort of their chief of staff, also to play that dual type role. I don't know who is playing that role right now in the Braun administration, because if they are, they should be fired, because you can't keep making misstep after misstep and just sort of And it's not even sort of misreading the public and misreading the electorate because you're listening to just one small segment.
Right. And that's, I know they didn't want to have to deal with me, but that's what I tried to tell him at the end before I ran out and announced that agreement and everything else. I said, nobody knows the people, the base of your party better than me. That's what we deal with. 50,000 plus of them every single day. They're going to hate you. And it's like they just act like it didn't exist. And it's obviously we hear it every day. It's showing up in your survey. How do you win? How are you effective? How are you not just completely ignored if the base of your party can't stand you?
I would argue it's a long road to rehabilitation. Now the good news is it's early, but also that's the bad news is it's early. And while they may not be able to take it out on the governor per se in 2026, they can take it out on the Republican legislature and the statewide elected officials.
That's
it's
right.
Like we can't get you, but we're going to take out you, and you.
Because I'm telling you right now, a great way, especially if it's Diego, which we'll get to him in a second, the great way to do that if it's Evan Bayh's son running for Secretary of State against Diego would be, hey, let's send a message. Let's not only not vote for the Republican, let's vote for this Democrat who seems like a reasonable guy, and let's send a message, and maybe that'll wake him. I mean, you're spot on with that it won't be Braun that'll get it in 2 years, but it's going to be the rest of these people.
And then it's kind of like it's like 2006 when Mitch Daniels, not 2006, 2008, when Mitch Daniels lost the House of Representatives, it was like, okay, we're coming after Mitch next. So what did Mitch do? Mitch, he pivoted. And he got reelected in 2008, the same year.
Mike Braun ain't Mitch Daniels.
Yeah, no, he ain't.
Hey, real quick on this, you mentioned that everybody needs a guy who can tell you what's going on, and I think the best example of this is Micah Beckwith because his people pushed the survey out, and he's still underwater, even though his people are like, go take this survey. Which, by the way, the fact that Beckwith is doing better than Braun means a bunch of Beckwith people said, we hate Braun. So welcome to your arranged marriage. Your lieutenant governor's people can't stand you.
The thing was, even though we know Beckwith, some folks Beckwith office tried to sort of we call it sort of skew the results a little bit. Everything else was still pretty much consistent.
That's right.
They were still in favor of legalized marijuana. Still thought township government should be eliminated.
Yeah.
And so the only thing he did was say, we like Mike, we like Micah, but it weren't enough of you to make a difference.
Well, no, I mean, he's still underwater. And I think he's the guy that needs to hear what you had said about the WTF person more than anybody else, because while he has some outsider people in his administration, he's not listening to them. And he's listening to these people that are calling the shots that are in his orbit. He brought them in because they were in his orbit. And they don't know how the state government works. They're part of what I call the gravy train brigade, which is they've hit life's lottery because he's in this position and they get these really good jobs. But they're not going to tell you what you need to hear. They're not going to grab you by the collar and say, when you try to make that 3/5 compromise video, even though some people did try to tell him, you got to have somebody who can be the stop. When this person says stop, you stop, and he doesn't have that.
He'll listen to 2/5 of his staff, not 3/5 of his staff.
That's well done. I like that. And as disappointed as I am in Mike, I want him to succeed. And until he rearranges how he's doing things there, it ain't going to happen. Last, Diego, 80% disapproved of the job Diego Morales is doing as Secretary of State. These are the people who will vote at a convention. He might as well just crawl in a hole and call it a day.
And it's interesting, too, because looking at some of the crosstabs, and also I'll put another cheat sheet this weekend, or just basically look at the results of Republican voters to give you a really good idea of people identified as solid, strong Republicans on this whole idea. And the fact that Republicans don't like you. And even though, to me, that says quite a bit. Because remember, back at the convention, people voted for Diego. Not so much they supported Diego, that they were mad at Eric Holcomb and Holly Sullivan and the mask mandate. And I think Diego totally misread the room. And now he's paying for it.
There you go. All right. IndyPolitics.org is where you can read the whole thing. You get yourself a cheat sheet subscription while you're there. Abdul Hakim Shabazz, thank you.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it for us today. Great job, Casey, as always. Thanks to Kevin. And thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. Stick around, Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Mother's Day shopping is easy.